now, from the mean streets of Essex, England, this is WhatKast.
Hello, this is WhatKast. I'm Matt. With the final experiment just days away, it was time. I tried very hard for the last couple of weeks to get flat earthers to give their reasons / excuses as to why we're definitely going to see the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. We, they, whoever, the people that are there. I've been trying very hard to get them on this topic to just explain to me. And I was very successful today. So as a result is this debate with many people coming and going, mainly on the flat earth side, gas pressure and some guy called Gilligan, right? And on the globe side, because they're much more, they try to come up much more often. We've got a plethora. We've got Fuzzy Bear, Globey, McGlobeface, Banbleflick. Oh my word, who am I forgetting? Who come up first? I was arguing with a couple of people. People are just coming and going all the time. I'll try and get the full. Hasselblad, obviously. Josh. Yeah. So everybody's sort of jumping in and out of this debate as the debate goes on. We discuss the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. We discuss gravity. We discuss evidence, curvature, etc. We discuss moon landing, loads of different things. So I know out there, especially listeners to the podcast, not everybody likes the flat earth content, but it is the final experiment this weekend. And I like doing these debates. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe it's a little bit of overkill at the moment on this topic, but it's a very important time for this topic. So I wouldn't put them out kind of in 2 weeks' time when nobody's really talking about it anyway. It doesn't make any sense. So with that in mind, please enjoy, if you enjoy this stuff, this debate. It's a couple of hours long, but it's very funny and very good and very interesting. And obviously everyone that's been involved in it, and other debates that I do, no hard feelings. We all leave thanking each other for our time, etc. It gets very heated at some points, but it is what it is. That's just the way it is. Thank you, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, and I'll catch you later. Hello.
I'm here. Yeah.
What you saying then?
Yeah. I mean, what's to say? They haven't got there yet, but.
I'll come off it.
I mean, I know they're down there. I know they're down there. I saw the tracker. I saw the McToon video. For me, if they come back with a 24-hour sun, they faked it. There's no other like explanation.
How?
Agreed.
Yeah, because we've got observations of sunsets in Antarctica when people have been as far south as 77 degrees, 60 degrees, and in December, and the sun always sets. So for me, it's just going to be faked.
True.
We'll just have to see how they do it, basically,
They're taking all sorts of equipment to make sure that doesn't happen. Right.
Well, I mean, like I said, we don't know exactly what they're going to do until they come back, right? Until, I mean, the only way that would satisfy it would be if it would, I mean, they should be live now. They should all have like TikToks or live streams on YouTube. They should all be live streaming constantly, saying, here we are, we're here now. Look, it should be like a constant thing.
Well, Embassy Toon live streamed yesterday for a bit, I think.
Well, that's what I mean. It should be constant. We should know where they are at all times and where the sun is at all times. And if we're going to do it properly, it's meant to be live. So it's meant to be live. So we all see in real time what's going on, right?
Well, they're not there yet, are they? What they're going to live stream? Yeah, of course you can. I'm trying to I don't know who's requesting, right? But I'm clicking on it and then the request had disappeared. It's fucking weird. Yeah, but they're not in Antarctica yet, are they? What are they going to film in Argentina?
No, I'm saying that should be the whole, the whole journey from start to finish should be, people can watch where they are, see what's going on, and they should be in coordination with people who can see the sun at 12 a.m. 12 p.m., 12 of the daytime, basically. And it should be a should be a multifaceted thing, basically, where people are in conjunction, and giving the old back and
Hey,
forth. What's
hey,
going
gas
on there,
pressure. I, I
things
just
like
want
that.
I just want to point out, right? You came up and you said the only way they'll ever see the sun not set in Antarctica is to fake it.
Yeah,
You definitively stated that, and then
yeah.
a minute later you said, "Well, we won't know anything until they come back." Right? So
Well,
you
no,
have
no, no, no. I'm
already
saying that we
admitted
won't. No, 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 no. I didn't.
admitted
No, you didn't listen clearly. I'm
that
saying
you're
we
not
won't
waiting for the
know.
results.
We won't know how they faked it until they come back.
So you're 100% certain that they're going to fake it.
If they come out of the 24-hour sun, it's 100% a fake because we know the layout of the land is flat horizontal, no curvature has been measured, space doesn't it? All those things
Other
we
than
know
all the
already.
curvature that's been measured.
My
Yeah, but
goodness,
we
how
know all those things
open-minded
are.
you are, how
We
how
know.
incredibly open-minded you are, gas pressure.
Well,
It's astounding.
like I've just said.
Secondly, you said we should know where these people are at all times. They have live trackers on them. I'm looking at where Jeranism is. I'm looking at where McToons is.
No, I
I'm
can
Yeah.
looking
see
at
that.
where
Yeah, I can
Witsit
see that.
is. Right.
I can see that.
So we know where these people are, and the reason we have people from both sides of the argument going is so that we don't have to have a live camera on them 24/7. We can have them check each other. That is the checks and balances put into this. That is it, right? It astounds me the level of academic dishonesty you are approaching this with.
Gas.
It's
Astounding.
not
What?
good enough,
Gas.
right? If they're
Astounding.
spending
What do you
half a
mean?
million,
What? Gas.
if they're
What more
spending
would you
half a
want?
million to go down to Antarctica, the least they can do is have us watch a live stream of them throughout the entire journey. We're in
Well, Jaren
2024,
is
where
wearing a
there's
camera that's going to be running all of the time, so you'd be able to watch all of the footage from
doesn't
the
matter. It
entire
needs to
thing.
live stream. It
It
doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. See, this is so fucking ridiculous. What more would you want? You got two
This
fucking
is
flurf
classic moving the
daddies.
goalposts. This is
You got two
classic moving the
flurf daddies
goalposts.
going down there with huge followings, right? That everybody, if they didn't go, everyone was saying, we're not letting any flat earthers go. They're taking all of this equipment to do all of these experiments. They've got stuff to look at the sunspots to make sure it's the right sun rather than the sun simulator or any of the other drivel that you lot come out with, right? And they're doing all of this other, everything else they can test that they're going to test. And it's still not good enough. No, it's not good enough. Now I want a live stream. If you got a live stream, you'd say that's not live, wouldn't you, Gas? You would say this is a recorded stream, wouldn't you, Gas?
No, if they had like live stream like what you're doing right now, where they're engaging with audience, they're engaging with participants, like I
Wouldn't
said,
be
back
good
and
enough
forth,
for you.
back
You
and
know it
forth, a
wouldn't.
back and forth
Gas pressure.
engagement.
I could put you on the next rocket to the International Space Station, have you spend a week in the space station looking down on the Earth, and you would come back and still say it was faked because you are
Yes.
that convinced that the world is flat. You are
Because
that convinced.
It is
the
flat.
simple things that we ask for, you don't do, but the
Yes, no,
extravagant
we
things you
do. We
seem to want
measure
to do.
the Earth all the time, and it curves.
Some guy has literally paid a fortune to take a load of flat earthers and other people to Antarctica right now. They are there right now. And you're saying, no one does anything. What are you
Like for
talking
example,
about?
like for example, Riz was one of the contestants, right? Now he would have been able to live stream right now. Hey guys, I'm on TikTok. I'm live. We're talking to him. Oh, Riz, turn around. Look over there. Look over there. Check, verify this. But they picked hand people. A girl we've never even heard of. I mean, who is this person? No one knows who she is. How she got into flat
Hang on a
Earth?
minute. Most people wouldn't have heard of Riz, to be fair. He's not
Correct.
exactly a celebrity.
Yeah,
is
but
he?
he's
Let's
in
be
the
honest.
community though. He's in the
Correct.
community.
He was not anymore.
Not anymore. He's certainly not in the flat community anymore.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying there are people who are in the community where you have access to them, like you and I can talk. Like say, if Fuzzy went, he could go
Witsit,
live stream. We could talk to him. We could say, turn
Witsit
around,
is
Fuzzy.
going. Jeranism is going. These are two of the heaviest hitters in the
I
flat
don't
Earth community.
understand how controlled opposition works. Have you got no
They are
direct?
two of the heaviest hitters in the flat Earth community.
Yeah, and the heaviest hitters are usually controlled opposition. The only way to control
Oh
the
my
opposition is to lead.
goodness!
No, the only way to
I bet you
lead the
didn't say
No,
that
opposition.
before they was going.
this is
No, I'm saying if they
ridiculous.
come back
This
with a
is
24-hour sun, then we
this
know
is
that they're controlled.
So
academic
if they're
dishonesty.
intellectually honest, if they're honest and just report their findings and you don't like what they report, then they're shills. But if they come back and say, look, here's footage of the sunset, then you can trust them. That's what you're saying,
Yeah,
right?
if they come back with
It's academic
contradictory to what we
dishonesty.
know, then yes, we know that they're agents. Yeah.
It's
But if they
academic
come,
dishonesty. That's all it is.
well, I've just told you the parameters. People want to see where they are
Right, you
right
told me the
now, where the
parameters.
sun
You
is
told me the
right
parameters
now.
for your confirmation bias. That's all.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Well,
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in there. I knew the minute I heard that this final experiment was going to happen that the irrefutable evidence of the 24-hour sun circling around the Antarctic was going to be just dismissed. It was just going to be brushed aside because there is literally nothing we can do. There's no scientific experiments, there's no natural observations that we can do that will convince a flat earther that they're living on a globe.
Nope.
well, I
They're
think there is.
too far gone. No, there isn't. Like I said, gas pressure. I could send you up to the space station for a week to look down on our planet and circle it for an entire week. You would still come back down and say it's flat.
Yeah, but how do flat earthers understand space? How do I understand space?
You would
Space
still
doesn't
you
exist, right?
it
So
does
why would you send me
exist,
to a
but
place that doesn't exist?
it does exist, and yet if I sent you there, you wouldn't believe it. That's the
That's
point.
the point.
You are
Until you can show it
so
scientifically,
far
why would I
gone.
believe that?
You
Right?
are so far gone.
So what do you mean scientifically? You'd be in space. Like if someone put you in space and you was actually in space, would you be standing in space saying this doesn't
Space
exist?
doesn't exist.
You can't go to space. It's impossible.
No, of course. If the public were able to go to this place called space, then yeah, we couldn't deny it, right? If people said next week I'm going to space, I've got a trip to space, yeah, you couldn't deny that. But that doesn't happen. So when someone says what he's saying, oh, what if I took you? Then we
You
know that
literally just said you would still deny it. You literally just admitted you would still deny it.
No, I just said if people
You
went
literally
to space,
just admitted you would still deny it.
yeah, because of what you've just said. You said if I took you to space, like as in you, me, that means you'd have to show to me that space exists in the first place. But if
Gas.
space,
I'm taking you there. That's how I'm showing you it exists.
Yeah, but
I'm saying that-
you're a shill, so your money's not good. Like the only reason you're taking him there is to be an agent. So whose
I'm
money
saying
would
if
be
the
good?
regular public, if the public were going to space, you know, on a regular occurrence every day,
Because it's so
every
cheap
week,
to go to space. Everyone should just do it. Just like going on the bus. Space, isn't it?
well, that's my point. If it were like that, then yes, you would believe it, right? But at the moment, nobody's doing such a thing.
Hey, you know WhatKast?
Yeah, because
Just
I could get a flight
change
there myself.
to change the conversation a little bit for those who are actually academically honest. There are multiple expeditions going across Antarctica right now. Solo expeditions.
But we can't freely explore, apparently.
Karen Kielso. There is Akshay. What's his name? Akshay Nanavati. There is Karen Kielso. There is Youngmi Kim and Catherine Buford. At least,
Yeah, but Catherine,
all of
Fuzzy,
Yep.
Catherine Buford in Hebrew is to deceive.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Did you not know that?
You know, these are people we can actually track. We can. I think they post.
Hello, Shelby.
They post at least one update a day. They have live trackers on them. You can watch their journey. They are literally going to cross the South Pole. All of them.
He doesn't care. I want to hear. Quickly from Is it Gilligan, the banana person? You're a flat earther.
Banana. Yeah, you're right.
Hello, mate.
What do you want to hear?
What's your thoughts on this?
Just to let you know, my fiance's dad is a Glober. So I have these debates daily.
A normal person, right?
A normal person Well,
Yes.
I'm not too sure. I think he could be wavering. We'll see.
Oh dear.
So what are your thoughts on the final
have you
experiment?
discussed? Yeah, have you discussed the final experiment with him?
Yeah, he's definitely mentioned that. What would happen if they said, actually, our observations are more for a flat Earth? Would that be accepted?
For me, yes, I would have to reevaluate my
Just
position
like
on the
that.
globe.
That's
If
ridiculous.
I would have to. I would have
Just
to.
like
Why
that.
is it ridiculous? If the
Why
evidence
is it
suggests
ridiculous?
something, go with the evidence. What are you talking about? Like if
Because there's
everyone
evidence
comes
that
back,
already tells you you're not on a globe. So just because of this
What does?
There
observation,
isn't. No, there isn't.
There is. There's loads of evidence that you're not on a
There's
globe.
not a
No, there
bit of
isn't.
evidence that
What
we're
from
not on a
Eric
globe.
Dubé's
Not a bit.
200 proofs?
Give us one example of that evidence.
Yeah.
What, that
like you're not on a globe. So you don't have a geometric horizon for a start. So that
We
means
do.
there's no
Yes,
drop
you
from the
do.
horizontal.
No, you
We
don't.
do.
I've had.
Yes, you do. There's
debate's
still
over.
just because everyone calls it an apparent horizon. There's still an actual horizon there, and it's crisp.
There is.
It's just
That's flat.
distorted because of where you are in atmospherics.
That's
Try
caused
again.
by your vision, not by curvature.
And on a globe, you need it. You has to be a
It is.
geometric point.
It is a
Hold on a
geometric
minute.
horizon.
Did he just say that that's caused by my vision, not curvature? Well, there's a crisp horizon
100%.
because of my vision. It doesn't. Why
100%.
doesn't it
I've done
just slowly?
document-
Did he just say that that's caused by my vision, not curvature? Well, there's a crisp horizon
100%.
because of my vision. It doesn't. Why
100%.
doesn't it
I've done
just slowly?
I don't need to have credentials. I just need to research my own information, put together paperwork.
Where did
with
you do your
references.
research then?
Where?
Where did you
The
get the
internet.
information? The internet. What? The dark web?
No, not the dark web. Crikey,
YouTube.
What's
Right,
giving you
it's,
this
What's its
information?
YouTube channel? What's its YouTube channel?
Yeah, Witsit. Do you like Witsit, by the way?
David Weiss's app.
Gilligan, who got you into flat Earth?
Who got me into flat Earth?
Yeah.
I just used my own observations. I thought, well, these
No,
things
you
don't
didn't.
make
Which
sense.
YouTube video? This is Dash Drivel. Which YouTube video
It's not
did you
trivial
watch?
at all.
It is.
It's not trivial at all.
Yes.
So without taking any information from the internet, you used your own
Yeah, exactly.
observations to become a flat earther. So tell us about
Absolutely.
those observations that you witnessed.
Wholeheartedly and honest. Yep.
No.
Give us some observations that you noticed with your own two eyes without taking any information from the internet that you observed that made you believe the earth is flat.
What made me believe the Earth is flat?
Yeah, you said you
I see
said
these
you
things
came to
don't
that
add up.
conclusion through your own observations. So tell us about those observations.
Okay, one observation. Baumgartner's jump. Look at the
Okay.
footage. What do you
What
see?
did what
You
did
see a flat
Baumgartner
horizon.
say about his own jump? What was
How
his
how
eyewitness
how high
testimony?
did he
No matter
jump
what
from?
he says, people say they
What
see
was
curves from an
his
airplane.
eyewitness testimony?
How
Yeah,
high
but
did he
people
jump
say they
from?
see
No,
curves from an airplane.
Hold on,
Doesn't matter
hold
what
on.
you say.
Hold on. What was his eyewitness testimony? Firsthand, what did he say?
Well, let's say he said he saw curvature.
What did he say?
He didn't
Okay,
see.
let's say
No,
he said he
I'm
saw
not saying
curvature.
let's say. I'm saying what did he say?
Well, I've
Gone
just
to look
said, let's
up.
say he said he
No,
saw
I'm
curvature.
not saying let's say. I'm asking you. I'm not
Tell us.
asking you to
Tell us what he
suppose
said.
what he said. I am asking you, what did he say that he saw?
Well, what did he say? Tell us.
Tell us.
He specifically said he saw the Earth's curvature
Okay.
when he looked out. That is
Okay.
what he saw.
So your
Okay, it
first
doesn't
source
matter what he
Now
contradicts
says.
you.
he was the only person who was there looking at it with his own eyes. He was the only person there. So
Okay.
whatever else you might say about what Neil deGrasse Tyson said about what he should see, or what anyone else says, he was the only person who was there looking at it with his eyes.
All right, but people
What
think they
did
see
he
curvature.
say?
You're just repeating yourself now, bro. So people think they see curvature from an aeroplane, right? They look out the window and say, look, I see Earth curve. But when you check out the maths, Okay,
Hold on a
you're
minute.
not.
No, Gas, I'm not going to let you get away with that. He's just giving you a quote from the person that you're using as evidence, and you're
Don't
just
worry, I'm gonna come
ignoring it
back
and
to you
talking
on
about
this.
aeroplanes.
Yeah, because I'm saying people say that they see curvature all the time. It doesn't matter about what you say, you see.
He was
So why
three
use
times
that
as
as your
high as any
why use
airplane.
that as your evidence then? If you don't care what he said, don't use that as evidence then.
Well, I'm saying according to your globe maths, you wouldn't see curvature from that height.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
So that's the point. That's why I'm saying. Doesn't matter if you say
Yeah,
from a
no, you
plane, from
would
a
see it.
balloon, from
You
Field
would
That
see
wasn't
it.
the point of the point. he
From
just
that
gave.
height, you
He
would
just
see
gave.
it.
Gilligan here just said something as evidence, right? Fuzzy's then completely just debunked him, and you've jumped in with, but
No,
you can't
no.
see curvature from a plane.
Cannot see it from that height specifically.
You can.
You cannot see curvature. I've done the calculations.
Okay,
Even
show me the
from the
math.
ISS
Go ahead,
space
show me the
station, you
math.
don't see curvature.
Show me
At
your
the
math.
height- You use your curvature calculation.
Show me your
Do your own
math.
calculations.
Show me your
Do your own
math.
research. Is that what you're saying?
Show me your math, because I've done the math. Show me your math. You're the one making the claim that you can't.
The maths have been done. Neil deGrasse took a ball.
Yes.
He said if you're 2 inches from the globe,
You love
you will
Neil
not
deGrasse.
see curvature from that height. It's
Once
flat.
again,
It looks
the
flat.
man himself told you what he saw.
Pilots, people from the airplane think they see curvature. It doesn't
my
matter.
Goodness.
Gas knows
My
best.
goodness.
That's why they
Gilligan.
have the maths to figure out what you
The
wouldn't
man
see.
himself was there. He told you what he saw.
All right, but the camera from his cockpit would tell us otherwise. That's why you can't go by what you think you see. You've got to
The
test it,
camera
right?
they used was a wide angle lens to capture as much of the action as possible. It was
Why
not
can't-
intended
hold on a second,
as a flat Earth experiment.
Hold on, Gas. Why can't you trust what you see?
Right, so I look out, I see that it's flat, right? I could be wrong. I would
Yeah.
need someone to measure that what I'm looking at is correct or incorrect, right?
Correct. I agree. So why is it flat earthers always say that horizon always rises to eye level? And when people say no, if you use the
Because
field
that's
of light
what we
to check
observe.
that,
That's
it's
what we
wrong.
observe.
And then you say, but my eyes are right. I don't need tools.
No, I said we
then when you
could
do
be
need
wrong.
tools, you-
What we're saying is there anyone that can verify what we're seeing is wrong? Now, Neil deGrasse has verified that what you're seeing on a globe is wrong because you wouldn't
Incorrect.
see curvature from that height.
You're
Incorrect.
taking one line
tell
from
me
one
exactly,
person.
Tell me exactly what Neil deGrasse
He's a
Tyson
globe
said.
communicator. He communicates with audiences, millions of people, and tells them about the globe.
And people
What you can
disagree
see,
with
what
him.
you wouldn't see. Yeah, but you don't get paid to tell people about the globe. He does, right? That's the
So
point.
from a hundred. So here's the thing. From 100,000 feet, looking over the horizon, you would have a left to right view of approximately 700 miles. 700 miles.
I mean, you say
That's 11.
that,
That's 11 degrees.
Wow,
Yes,
you say
you
that.
would expect to see curvature. You would expect to see 11 degrees worth of curvature.
from that height.
Yes,
From that height.
Yes, from
From
100,000
that height, Neil
feet.
deGrasse would say that stuff is flat. From
No,
that
You
height.
love Neil
what he
deGrasse.
said was looking straight down, it looks flat. Looking straight down, looking out over the horizon, you would have a view of a bit more than 700 miles.
He didn't say any of that.
That is 11 degrees of curvature.
He didn't say any of that. He said that
He said
horizon
looking
that you're
straight
looking at
down.
that looks curved.
He said
from that.
looking straight down.
Hold on.
I'm gonna play the
I'm
video
going
in
to
a
bring this.
minute.
I'm going to bring this back on topic here. Gilligan, I want to talk to you about the final experiment. Right? You popped up a couple of times when Gas was talking earlier there, and you said that they would definitely fake it 100%. What are they going to do to fake the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and why are you sure they're going to fake it beforehand?
I'm not sure they're going to fake it at all.
So you think there's a chance it might set?
I think it could be that it sets. What if there's other conspiracy theories, which is, if it does set, what happens? Turns everyone back to religion.
It won't set.
I don't understand the point of why the globe would turn people away from religion.
It hasn't turned me away from religion.
You know, that I was force fed religion at school and the globe, and I was also taught the globe.
So atheists, there are millions of atheists, and their question is there evidence of God? Can you prove there's a creator? In their mind, it's evolution, right? So in their mind, they came from nothing, they evolved from monkeys, and they came from a big bang, right? But if it turns out that it's not a big bang and that it's a creation with a creator, then all those atheists don't have an argument anymore,
What if
right?
it's both?
Evolution goes out the window. Big Bang goes out the window.
Why
What if
could
it's
God not
both?
create the globe?
No, he could have, but the idea is that the globe is random and an enclosed system has to have a creator. That's the argument.
What if it's both?
Because the enclosed system is like a system. Something has to control the sun. All these things need controlling, whereas on a globe,
No,
it's just random. It's just by accident, right?
not if an intelligent God creates laws of physics that everything
Yeah,
abides by.
exactly.
This happened by accident, by chance.
God could have created
Again.
something from start to finish. Started it with the
What if
Big
it's
Bang.
both?
Yeah, but that would say there's a purpose. Atheists
Yes.
say there's no purpose. It all happened by accident.
Okay, but what if it's both?
What do you mean? What if it's both? What do you mean?
What
So
if God
hold on
used the Big
hold on
Bang
a
to
second,
create
hold on a second,
existence?
Fuzzy. So guess you're trying to tell me that there's not Christians and religious people out there that believe in the Big Bang and still believe in God.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's why I spoke about atheists particularly, right? Who argue.
I'm saying, why would it turn people away from God when there's still Christians that exist, millions of them that believe that the Big Bang happened?
Because there are people who accept spiritual and there are people who want physical evidence, right? So atheists in particular want physical evidence. They want to see proof of a creator. Now, flat earth, enclosed system would be proof of a creator. Right now they say there's no proof of any creator, right? But Christians already have that spiritual thing in them anyway, whether it's a ball or not, right? They look at it not through physical, but through spiritual. So that's why there's a big difference. That's why I say a lot of people, a lot of atheists will have to question, well, if this is an enclosed system, how did we get here, right? How did it all happen, right?
It's not though, is it? Where's the dome?
It isn't. Yeah, it isn't.
Yeah, exactly. What's above the dome? People ask things like that. What's beyond the wall?
Where is the dome? Why can't anyone see it? Surely they'd be quite close to it now with the final experiment. They'd be able to chuck things at it and see if it bounces off.
You would think.
Well,
They're
no.
going. Do you know where they're camping? Do you know where that Union camp is?
Union Glacier, that's where they're going. Union Glacier.
Do you know where that is in Antarctica? Do you know what long latitude
Well, that's
that
a
is?
South American base, right? So they're down that way.
No, it is not. No, they're going to Union Glacier, which is in Antarctica. Do you know what latitude Union Glacier is?
I think they're going beyond the 60th, yeah?
Yep. Do you know what it is?
That's as far as I know. It's beyond the 60th.
Okay. Union Glacier Camp is 79.75 degrees south. They're going within 10 degrees of the pole, within 690 miles of
Hey, Sun's
the
in the
actual
chat. Bring
South
Sun
Pole.
up. Bring Sun up. Whatever. Sun of Africa.
Let's just imagine for a minute that we are under the dome. How does the 24-hour sun work on a flat Earth? What's your explanation?
We can cross that bridge when we get to it, but I mean, there's already speculation about
let's cross that bridge now.
Well, again, we'll have to go by what we see, right? What we observe. That we can't answer that until we see, if it
But
actually
you've
happens.
already provided your
It
answer.
happens,
Jess.
dude.
You've said they're going to fake it.
For
So
years and years and years. You can look up videos on YouTube of amateur YouTubers that are down in the Antarctica that have posted videos like a time lapse of the 24-hour sun.
mhm.
No, I know that. Yeah, people have allegedly, but they've all been doctored in some way.
They haven't.
So how come no flat earther ever went down there and
That's the
filmed
point of
for
us going
24
down
hours?
there. Well, allegedly, that's the point of going down there now to do it properly. But it hasn't been done properly because they're not live streaming their trip. right? That's the
So
problem.
oh my goodness.
And oh no, you
The
can't.
whole point of those other videos, we didn't trust them because they were done in that fashion. So if they go down there
That'd
and
be
repeat
funny.
that same fashion,
So you would want a 24-hour non-stop live stream of the entire trip from every participant to even give it any kind of credibility whatsoever.
that's what streamers are doing nowadays. Streamers nowadays are doing like content creators. That's the fashion today. Is content
You realise they're
create.
literally on a block of ice. Like I'm not sure that they're going to be able to get the
There
power.
is no cell service. There
Yeah, but
literally is no cell service.
have you not heard of Starlink? Duh.
They do have Starlink.
Gas,
but it's
Starlink,
limited.
remember?
Gas. If I was you, I
And
wouldn't
where
be
is
Starlink.
Starlink? Hold on a
Gas, if I
second.
was you, I
Where
wouldn't
is
be sitting
Starlink?
there. I wouldn't be sitting there giving it duh like everyone you're talking to is a fucking idiot when you think there's a fucking glass dome over everybody. So
Yeah,
stop
but
being
you're
a
talking
Where
about
is
how do
Starlink?
you get internet, yeah? I'm talking about there's a Starlink, remember? You forgot
Okay,
about Starlink.
tell me where is Starlink
Starlink's
exactly?
unreliable in fucking Scotland, let alone fucking Antarctica. Have you
Is
ever watched
Starlink in
anyone trying to
space
use
or
Starlink?
is it glued to the top of the dome?
It's a satellite. It's a satellite swinging like a
You
chandelier.
speak about satellites. How do satellites work? They're in space, right? They orbit the
they're
planet.
not in space.
Where are they? Hold on, let me guess. They're sellotape to big balloons that just float around randomly in the atmosphere.
So how is it?
This is-
How is it
this
that
is-
I can run an app? I can run an app on my phone that is literally just collecting and presenting the GPS satellite coordinate data that they
That's
send.
fake. It's
Right?
fake CGI.
And
It can be fake.
literally they tell you how high they are over the earth, how fast they are moving, and what Latin longe they have and their time. They tell you all of that information.
They
That is
don't care.
literally all a GPS receiver gets from the satellites, and it's able to then trilaterate from that. But they're moving at 17,000 miles per hour. Tell me a balloon that's moving that speed.
Gilligan? Are they talking to you?
I don't know. Either one of you.
You can literally download the app yourself. It's a simple app
Yeah, I'm
on
trying not to hug the mic. I'm
on
letting
a cell
Gilligan.
phone.
I was
Simple
gonna
app
say,
that shows you the
I
live
want to change the
GPS data.
subject, but
Yeah, go on, Gilligan.
course you
Sorry, what did you say? Gilligan?
He keeps cutting out.
I think he's Googling stuff like mad.
He's
We can't hear you, Gilligan, when you leave the app.
Yeah, when you
leave
Gilligan,
the app to go Google stuff.
yeah, when you're Googling your
can't hear
talking
you.
points, we can't hear you. You need to
I'm
stay
not.
in
I'm
there.
not googling, so you can hear me now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let me try and open the document. I've actually got a quote from Baumgardner and 9 other. But it's not googling. This is in one of my documents. If somebody wants me to email it to them, no problem.
Where did you get the document from?
I created the document. I've done my own research. If you want it,
And of
can
course,
have
you
it.
put all the citations in your document.
The citations are in there. Yeah. Bearing in mind that this is for my fiance's dad. He's a Glober, and so everything has to be explicit.
Explicit? What is it? OnlyFans?
No, you know what I mean.
Oh, explicit, yes. So what do you
It's
think
gone again.
was going to happen? Do you think there's going to be a 24-hour sun? Are you putting your money on the 24-hour sun?
I would
Me,
put my
yes,
life on the
100%.
24-hour sun.
100%.
100%.
But everything
then
puts
just-
Gas. Me and you have had this conversation before. Go further and further south on the globe. Right now, it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter to the point that it's going to be at its lightest coming up in a couple of weeks' time, right? So why, if you continued south, would that not continue until the point that you've got 100% light all the time, right? And the sun circling
Yeah, I've
above
been
you.
looking at the timeanddate.com, and Antarctica does have continuous light, but the sun is not present
It is.
where they are when
It
it's
is.
12 o'clock. When it's 12 o'clock in Australia, when it's 12 a.m. in Australia, the sun is not visible where they are.
It is.
Okay, so take the sun out of the equation. How is it
No, it
still
is.
daylight down there for 24 hours? Just remove the sun
That's
completely.
obvious. Have you not heard of coffee cup caustic?
caustic.
Or some
that's
fella
obvious.
shone a flash lamp onto a coffee cup covered with a glass bowl, right? I heard about
Yeah.
that. How does that prove
Yeah, so we
anything?
know with the
What
coffee
you
cup
know what
caustic,
I've you
that
know
can
what I've
light the
never seen.
entire perimeter, the outer regions, and not
You
the
know what
Is,
middle.
I've
is
Yeah.
the
you know what
ice
I've
wall?
never
Did you
But
see
seen.
the
so just
Hold
let
on.
me
You know what I've never
ask this for
seen.
1 second.
Go ahead.
So the outer rim of the coffee cup is supposedly meant to be the ice wall, right?
Hmm.
Now put that to scale on your so-called flat Earth. That ice wall must be 20,000 miles high or more.
Hold on. I thought it was the dome, wasn't it? That isn't that your coffee cup? The dome, not the wall.
So the idea is that the light goes around the edge, of the dome. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
You know
is
what
the
I've
sun
never
It's a good job.
seen
inside
It's a
though.
good
or
job I know the
outside the
flat
dome
Earth
then?
model, isn't it? It's a good job I know the model.
That
Yeah, that's
coffee
good.
cup thing, the sun is coming in from the outside of the dome. So which is it? Is the sun inside the dome or is it outside the dome?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nobody
that's a
knows.
good question. How would we know that?
Oh,
Use
so
your
you don't.
brain.
Oh,
for once.
so you don't believe that these pictures were like Matthias Marino, or whatever his name is, when he pretends that the sun is in a cloud, and you can tell by the crepuscular rays pointing
No, it
back to the sun.
appears in the clouds.
It looks like that, but we just
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
know
We
that.
can't be definitive.
I know
yeah?
that, but people, flat earthers, actually say you can triangulate to where that sun exactly is. But now, when it
And yet
suits
they
you, it
never
needs to
do.
be outside of the dome because it's got to
And
make
yet
something else
they
work
never
Exactly. For
now.
do
that coffee cup
triangulate it.
plastic experiment to work, the light is coming in from outside the dome. Whereas every flat earth model I've ever seen, and only recently I heard about this
exactly
coffee cup
true.
plastic, the sun is inside the dome. So
Yeah.
like you can't even make your minds up about where the sun is.
Yep. Yep. And what I've never seen anybody demonstrate with this coffee cup caustic is a point of view camera from inside the dome. They always show it from outside.
Outside.
They never actually show it from the inside and what it would or should look like.
And they
never
generally show it
demonstrate what
when
it
they
would look like.
when they try to show it on a flat Earth. Like I've got a little flat Earth here, right? Look at that. Right. So when they
Hey, there
try
you go.
when they try and show it on a flat Earth, the dome, which they believe is like that, right? The one they show it on is always a solid glass, like basically solid and crushing down on the thing. And they go, look at this, it works. But then when they try and do it on this, it doesn't work. And they move it all the way over here and round here. It's like, oh, look, they've finally got it here. Well, what's the sun doing then? What an absolute ridiculous. Someone just shouting straw man in the room there. Tell me what I did there that was a straw man. I'm just quoting what I've heard, what flat earthers have said, right? So they're straw manning
He'll
themselves.
claim everything's a straw man. He will claim everything is a straw man.
So Gilligan, because you've done
Oh
all
yeah, I
these
found my
documents.
document. Sorry, I won't.
Yeah,
I won't need to leave that this time. So the document. So Baumgartner, going back to what Baumgartner said, he said, "It looks endless and flat. You see the horizon, but there's no curve. Just an incredible vast expanse."
From both sides, I can see enough of this, right?
Right. So what do you? So someone
Chris,
said it looks
should we
flat.
do another one?
Is your
Chris
evidence?
Hadfield, ISS commander, Canadian Space Agency.
James
This is in my
May.
document, not the internet.
James May. Oh look, I can see the Earth's curvature from here. If we're just going to quote
But
random people,
you can't at that height. I've already debunked that.
Well, that's what he said. But you're just quoting people. That's all you're doing. That's what he said. If quotes are good enough for you, I've got plenty. Right.
But you have to use your observations. You have to,
okay,
take
Blue
it in
Marble
context of what they're
1972.
seeing.
Blue Marble 1972.
Oh, I've done that one as well. We're still on that debate.
What's your conclusions to that then?
Well, the conclusion is that the photo is possibly faked.
What, the photo, not the 300 that they took seconds apart? Just which one's faked?
There's only one.
No, there's not.
There are hundreds of photos. There's not only one of the Earth from space. Yes, that's on a one of many rolls of film they used on that one mission of several missions.
One mission of several missions.
They can all be found.
Oh my gosh!
Did you not know there were several missions?
That was actually on the last of the missions. That was the Apollo 17. That was December 7th, 1972.
Yeah, we're talking about the 1972 one.
Yeah.
Yes, but even next to that photo on the same film roll, there are dozens of pictures that were taken before and after it of that same Earth as they moved away from it. Closer, further away. There are dozens of images. just from that one roll of film.
All on film.
And then there was Apollo 9. There was Apollo 8, I believe, went to the moon. Apollo 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 all went to and from the moon with pictures of the Earth and the moon all throughout. Flat earthers think there was only one photo, the blue marble. That's all NASA ever gave us is one photo. You go search March to the Moon, and you look at an amazing repository of thousands of images from those programs. Thousands of images. But you think there's only one photo that they faked. One photo. That is academic dishonesty. If you think you've done research and you think there's only one photo, that's ridiculous.
Well, I've got to say
Yes.
that's never been put forward as a counter argument ever.
That's fair.
Well, okay, that's fair. But again, if you can honestly sit here and tell me you have done hours and hours of research to put all these documents together and try and convince your father-in-law or right, that if you're telling me you've done all this research and you don't know that the March to the Moon website exists and there are thousands of images from that, then you have clearly not done any form of research.
I've definitely done research, but it depends what you're researching, because I'm talking about mathematics. So
but you should have
really
researched that, right? Because but one of your arguments, Gilligan, was about showing me curvature. There is a literal hundreds of photos from space of the planet of curvature that you can't disprove.
If you've got a picture of the Earth, that's a 2D object. That doesn't show that it's a
every
ball.
photo is a 2D object.
There you go.
Yes.
So you want to
this
but
is
that
another
doesn't mean you can't
3D
take
photo.
photos.
This is another debate we've had. So actually, if you're flying away from the Earth, well, in fact, you would always see a 2D horizon that's flat. At what point do you
Gilligan, Gilligan, if I hold up a football in my hand right now and turn on my camera, are you going to claim that you can't tell that that's a sphere?
You've got visual cues. So you've got shadows. You've got
Oh yeah.
By the way, just a sec, Josh. Gilligan, just to introduce you to Josh, professional photographer, by the way. Go ahead.
Hey, with Josh here and talking about the photos, I'm going to let him take care of it. I'm going to back out and go take care of some things here at work. Hey, thanks for bringing me up.
Thanks, Fuzzy. Cheers.
And everybody, we live on a globe.
Maybe not.
Fuzzy. Yeah, and we have the same visual cues in many of the photos.
The blue marble? There's no visual cues in the blue marble.
The blue marble, but we can even take it one step further. We can reverse engineer how big the Earth would have to be given the information we have. And lo and behold, it all checks out. We know the distance that they said they were at. We know the focal length they said they used. We can reverse engineer it. We can do the same things with the photos on the moon. Like, it's not just, hey, look at this photo, it has to be real. It's look at this photo, analyze it, show me how it had to be faked, which you can't do. I can show you why they could not be faked. But then we can also reverse engineer them, given known information, given what we're told, even if it is an assumption. Oh, wait, yes, the angular size of that object works out to be that angular size. If they shot with this lens, the thing is this tall or this big, and you're at that distance. It's really easy to do. Like, there's math to the photos as well, and that math debunks you.
Well, it doesn't, but...
It does.
It doesn't debunk it at all.
Why not?
Effectively, if all the mathematics checks out, that mathematics would have checked out before they faked the photo.
Photos.
Or photos, yeah.
But with slightly different cloud patterns, like microscopic, that you have to kind of zoom in to see. They faked all of them just in case one day someone thought the Earth was flattened and they needed evidence against it.
People have looked at composite blue marbles and specifically.
It's not this is you're talking about 2002 blue marble. Was it 2002, 2012?
I think it is. You're probably right. 2002.
Yeah, this is 1972.
Correct. I'm talking while I'm muted because I'm a big dummy. How do you tell if a photo is a composite? What do you look for?
You look for what people are telling you, and the people actually specifically say that they're composites.
No. So for
The person
example,
that creates
Gilligan,
them.
I hand you a file. I didn't tell you anything about it. I just emailed it to you. What do you look for to tell if it was composited or altered or faked? Like, how do you analyze the photo?
I've got to say, I don't know.
Hmm. So, how are you so confident in proclaiming these photos to be faked if you don't even know the first step to analyzing the photos to tell whether or not they were faked?
That's a good point. And the point, well, you then have to use other reference points. Well, can you go into space? Well, then you've got the argument. Well, you
But
can't
before
go.
you get there, we got to talk about whether the photo can be faked, surely. Like, if you want to be intellectually
Well, it
honest,
can be because it was.
Do you want me?
that
Do you want me to give you the evidence that it couldn't have been faked? I have two really good pieces of evidence. However, I am going to have to likely give you a little bit of an explanation slash bring you up to speed with what these things mean. Do you want that evidence?
Okay.
Have you ever looked at the lunar photos with once they were said to be on the moon, when the man-made objects there and people were said to be there? Have you ever looked at those photos that they brought back with them?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the first thing you noticed about all of the shadows?
Uh,
For example, how many shadows per object are there?
no idea.
There's one. So I can open up my laptop if I need to, and we can go through, but there's one shadow per object. There's not multiple shadows. So
But
if
you
you
can
go
create one light
to,
source. You can have you could have an aircraft hangar that's completely black with one light source.
okay, well, here we go. Here's where we're going. So we know that there is a single light source because there's only one shadow per object. For example, if you go to a football match and you watch the players on the pitch, and there's lights from the left side and lights from the right side, they're going to have two shadows, one going to the left, one going to the right. Those shadows will also be washed out. While you'll be able to see the shadows, you'll also be able to see detail in the shadows. So you'll be able to see the grass on the pitch through the shadows because one light is washing out the other light and making the shadow not well defined. So we know one light source, but we can also look at those shadows. And what you find is they're extremely well defined. They have a very sharp edge, which means they don't have a preumbra. Do you know what has to happen in order for a shadow to not have a preumbra, a fuzzy edge, just a well-defined edge?
No.
Okay. The light source has to be extremely small in relation to the subject. So that light source. So you postulated we put a light on a plane. So the light source has to be small in relation to the subject. But if you look at the rest of the photo where the lit areas are, if you look at the ground's pretty evenly lit. Now there's undulations to this ground and stuff. And depending on like there's some individual rocks. Got an echo.
oh, Lars, mute yourself. Mute that.
Sorry.
No worries.
Go on, Josh.
TikTok's a weird place. So depending on specific rocks, they might be slightly brighter because the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. And if the rock is angled just right or the hill is angled just right, you might have small areas that are brighter. But for all intents and purposes, that ground is evenly lit. Do you know what has to happen for the ground to be evenly lit?
No.
Has to be a pretty powerful light, especially over a large area. And that light has to be far away. The closer the light gets to the surface, the more you're going to have a hot spot. So now we know three things just looking at the light source. One, light source has to be small in relation to the subject. Two, the light has to be really far away, but also powerful enough to give us well-defined shadows and an evenly lit surface over a large area. Do you think we can calculate how far the light would have to be in order to light this area if they faked it?
Was that a
Gilligan.
question? Sorry.
Yeah. Do you think we can calculate how far away the light would be and how powerful it would have to be if they fake this on Earth?
Presumably you're going to say yes.
Yes, we can. It would be kilometers away. But the problem is the technology to build that light, even today, doesn't exist. So if we wanted to fake this today, using only what they had available to them, like camera-wise, we can't use any CGI because this is all shot on physical film that was processed with wet chemistry. So they brought it back, they put it through developer, stop bath, fixer, and then rinsed it, and now you have something you can hold in your hand. If we just use that and use all of the other technology we have to build lights and stuff, we still can't build that light today and have it far enough away to do what they did. But we can go one step further and look at the footages, actual like movie footages, so moving pictures, and show that there was no way to fake those on Earth because of the way things move. The regolith coming off of the wheels. We know that, hey, if you're in a dune buggy driving on Earth, that sand that you drive across in the dune buggy or the dirt or even little pebbles, the second they leave the tire, they're going to start slowing down due to atmospheric drag. So we can look at the video and analyze it frame by frame and find out, wait, the regolith coming off of those tires does not slow down. You can't fake that. You can't fake that on physical film because now you have to use a practical effect. And it doesn't matter if you're throwing boulders or dust particles. You analyze it frame by frame from the time it initially has a acceleration imparted to it. That acceleration doesn't slow down until it hits the ground. But then you can go one step further and say, hey, if the moon is what we're told, and it has 1/6 gravity, the rooster tails should be a specific type of arc. The speed at which it goes up, the apex of that arc, and the speed at which it falls should be at a specific rate. And we can make a prediction for what that looks like on Earth. I mean, we can just go out and drive a dune buggy across the sand, watch the rooster tails. Oh, lo and behold, hey, yeah, the rooster tails all pretty much look like this. But we can also make a prediction on what it should look like given the physics of what we're told the moon is. And lo and behold, you make that prediction and it matches the video, and you can't fake that with practical effects. So if we can prove that they landed on the moon, of course they pointed the camera out the window and took a photo of the Earth.
Gilligan.
Oh my god, that was so boring.
It was a little bit. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Two flat earthers, typical there. Explain it. It's not true. Full explanation given. Boring. What's your argument against it?
You can't go into space.
Everyone to sleep.
Oh,
That's
fuck
my
off.
argument.
That's your argument. So everything
It
he's
is,
just
yeah.
said, irrelevant. You can't do it anyway. Nah, 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 nah. Do you realise how
Except I
fucking
literally just-
ridiculous that sounds?
Except I literally
Absolutely
just proved they
fucking
did go into
ridiculous.
space.
That's why nobody takes anybody seriously. That is your best argument. You just hear,
You're creating
you listen
an
to
assumption
all
that it
of
can't
that.
be faked. Using
An assumption.
solid
He's just
reasoning, I
giving you
have
a
to
full explanation. It's not an
I have
assumption.
to say,
He's a
what
fucking
did I say?
photographer.
Using solid reasoning, but
So Gilligan, tell me how they. So
that's like me saying,
make
well,
me look like a complete
the
moron.
Titanic
How
was
did they fake it?
unsinkable and then it sunk. Just
Okay.
because you're saying
So how
that
did
you're
they fake the photos?
no idea.
Well, then why are you
Okay.
arguing against it then?
I'm not
Absolutely
saying
ridiculous.
that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Boring. That was
I didn't say
boring.
it was boring.
Come on, then, Gas. Let's
That was
hear
Gas that said it
your.
was boring.
No, you just said yes, it was. Gas. Let's. Other than that was boring. Refute what he just said.
No, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about
How
Antarctica.
convenient.
I'm here to talk about Antarctica.
We could talk about gravity. Let's talk about gravity.
And I've got a video
Gilligan
here.
thinks he's got a gotcha about gravity. That
Oh yeah,
he's
go
heard a
for it,
million
go for it,
times
go for
before.
it. Go for it, yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying it's a gotcha. I'm just saying that's where our
Well,
debate
you got your
got to.
knob out when you mentioned it. I'll say that much.
You love it.
Come on. What about gravity?
Proves that gravity's real.
Did you know we find stuff with gravity?
No, I bet he
You-
didn't.
People literally make money by using a gravimeter to find things underground. Mining companies do this all the time. Geologists do this all the time. A gravimeter measures gravitational gradients, and if there's a larger, denser mass underground, as you use the gravimeter, it'll say, hey, the gravitational gradient has changed. And based on that gradient, we can pretty much predict what it is. And then, like, mining company owners become billionaires using this. So it's not just about shit falling, it's about actually applying it and becoming rich using gravity.
Using something, it could be using density.
How does a gravimeter, do you even know what a gravimeter
No, I
is?
have to say I don't.
Okay, so then how can you claim it measures density if you
No,
don't
I
even
do,
know what
because
it
I
is?
know that gravity is not a real medium.
Or a real medium? Are you trolling? You got to be
No, I'm not
trolling,
trolling.
man.
Honestly, that's
Listen,
where
I
I
can hear the
from.
laughter in your voice, man.
It
And
sounds like
gravity
it,
is
don't it?
fundamentally gravity is
He
fundamentally
does.
flawed. I can give you 9 reasons that gravity is fundamentally flawed.
Give me your
Yet,
top one. What's
Go ahead.
It's not a medium. That should go on a t-shirt.
So what makes something fall to the ground?
density.
Density.
Really?
And
You're going to go with density and buoyancy?
I'll
You
tell you
said you've
why.
done
buoyancy.
research.
Well, okay, I'll give you
Buoyancy.
9 reasons that gravity is fundamentally flawed.
Go on then.
Yeah, give us your top one.
The top one.
Right, hold on
quantum
just a second before you
incompatibility.
do. Sorry, mirror, you've been gobbing off in the fucking room. You've been requesting.
Oh,
I'll
it's gone.
invite you up and you come up, don't join and then piss off. So that's the last chance you're going to get.
And
Fuck off
Hawkeye,
with all your
I'm trying to
bullshit
work
in
as
the room.
well, you know. Hawkeye 1628.
So what's your top one? Did you say
Oh yeah,
quantum?
quantum incompatibility. So gravity cannot be reconciled with quantum mechanics.
I can destroy that in 2 seconds.
You can't.
Gravity is an emergent property.
Boring.
What does that even
That's
mean?
my defense against that.
So it doesn't work on quantum level until enough of those quantum particles come together and then gravity emerges. There are actual quantum physicists that believe gravity could be an emergent property of mass. So when the mass is too small, gravity doesn't exist, but it emerges when there's enough mass to coalesce together. Done. Easy.
All right. Do you want to do the next one?
Gilligan, can I ask you, do you not believe that there's an attractive force pulling things down?
There's not an attractive force.
There's no attractive. You're not even going to go with electrostatics or anything like that, no?
There could be. Sorry, did you say that no gravity or there's no
I said,
force?
is there no force? Because you just said density, which isn't a force.
There's no force pulling things down.
So why doesn't
would that-
anything fall up?
Yeah, why
Sorry,
doesn't it
go ahead,
fall up?
Floyd.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Why
Yeah,
don't things fall
that's
up?
exactly what my fiance's dad said. Well, there must
Well,
be
it makes
something.
perfect sense.
Why doesn't it fall up? What do you mean? Well, that's a silly question.
No, it's not a silly question. He's saying there's no attractive force to the ground, so
Well, things
why would
wouldn't
there
fall
be a
up, they'd
downward
rise
bias?
up. It is a silly question because things would rise up, not fall up.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This is pretty boring.
Things go in all directions. The gases move in all directions.
Yeah.
It depends on the medium that it's in, will determine
Gilligan.
the direction of the object.
Yeah.
Gilligan, if it's density, what would happen? Do you have a knapsack? I don't know what you guys call it over there. in the
Rucksack
UK.
probably,
Book bag?
or
Rucksack. Yeah. Do you have a rucksack?
Yeah.
Okay. What would happen if you put 5 large books in that, and then grabbed, say, a tennis ball, and you stood as high as you could get inside your home, and dropped them from the same height? What would happen?
You're really going into the bowling ball feather thing, aren't you?
Okay. Say that again.
You're really talking about the bowling ball and feather experiment.
Yes. So why do you, if you do this in your house, not in a vacuum, do they both hit the floor at the same time? Isn't the rucksack denser than the tennis ball?
Is it denser?
Yeah.
Well-
You have a rucksack, you put 5 large books in it, you zip it up, and then you have a tennis ball. What's more dense?
The books in the bag?
Yeah. So if it's density, why do they hit the ground at the same time?
Would they hit the ground at the same time?
They do it right now. They will.
It hasn't been done. It's just a guess.
It has been done. There's videos on TikTok of this. As a matter of fact, you can even go outside and go even higher and drop a bowling ball and a tennis ball. They'll hit the floor at the same time.
Where's
You
the
don't
evidence?
need a vacuum chamber to do this. So if it's
Evidence
density,
proof.
why is the acceleration the same for both?
It's not.
It can't be, even with gravity.
But we
it
can
can't be.
calculate it. It
If
is.
mass is attracting mass, then one would fall more speedier.
No, because the Earth's mass is so large in comparison that it causes 9.83 meters per second squared. This is
So
all
Is
predicted
it perception
based
of
on
events hitting the ground at the same
Newtonian.
time?
Huh?
Is it your perception that they're hitting the ground at the same time? Because there should be
No,
some
not
variance.
perception. You can
If
videotape
mass is
this
attracting
and play
mass, it
back
should be
frame
some
by
variance.
frame.
Gilligan, I've got to say, right, you sound like you've been a flat earther for about 4 months with your arguments. Like, everything you say is what people say when they get fresh away from the first Eric Debay video. But you're saying you've done all this research and you're not saying that there's a force that pulls things to the ground. I think you're trolling myself.
I'm not trolling. I promise you I'm not trolling.
Why would you say that? We know there's not a force. That's what flat earthers say.
You don't think there's a force either, Gas? You don't think there's a force pulling things down?
Even in your model, gravity is not a force.
It produces a force. What brings
No,
things to the
no,
ground? Yes.
in your
What
model,
brings things to the ground
Not
in your
true.
model?
In your model,
Yeah,
Einstein...
Do you have a model today, Gas? Or are you going to claim?
No, I'm
claim
talking
a
about the
model?
globe model, right? So you have Einstein and Newton. Newton says things pull. Einstein says things follow the curved path.
Yeah, we all
So
know
even-
this, Gas. You're not tripping anyone up with all this drivel. What is your force that brings things to the ground on your
Density.
model?
I've just said there's no force
Density
in
is
your
not
model.
a force.
Neither is your
The
gravity.
force created by gravity.
It's like you've just been doing this performance. Einstein says gravity is not a force. Not a force.
So gas is
So you don't
magnetism a
have
force?
a force for why things fall.
Gas is magnetism a force?
Yeah.
Okay. What does magnetism do to create a force?
Energy strength. Creates energy. And without energy, gravity creates no energy. The bending of space creates no energy. There's no energy between the two masses to pull them together. So when you
What
ask us
does
what is our
magnetism?
force, your
What does a
model has
magnetic?
no
What does a
force.
magnetic field? What does a magnetic field look like?
I don't know. I've never seen one.
It's a toroid. It's a curvature in its
Oh,
field.
right. Yeah,
We
when you
live in a
put those
toroidal field, Dan.
Okay.
filings, yeah, you put the
What
filings there.
does
Yeah.
what
Okay.
what does what does relativity say about gravity? What does it do to the field?
It bends space around the
Yeah, it's a curvature.
it creates a
It's a
gravity
curvature
well.
in the field.
Mass creates
So,
a gravity well, and objects follow
right,
that
it's a
curved path.
curvature in the field. Right, it's a curvature in the field. So, PhD physicists, even Blitz has said this. He is fine with you saying that, according to Einstein, gravity is not a force. But if you do that, you also have to hold the same thing to be true with magnetism, because what magnetism does and what general relativity and special relativity do is the same thing. They cause things to move by creating a curvature in their field.
Can I have the screen for a second? I want to prove to you I'm not trolling.
You can prove it by just not coming out with 2014 flat Earth arguments.
Just give me the screen for a second.
Well, you've had the screen for a second.
Yeah, sorry, I need to put the camera on. Hang on, and I have no idea how to do it.
Just press save, camera, then save.
Oh, hang on.
Have you got enough followers?
Probably not. No. Okay. Scrap that then.
He has 113 followers.
Yeah, scrap that then.
Wow.
What were you going to show, Gilligan?
But I promise you I'm not trolling. I've got a document specifically where I'm creating a theory, which is called density field model, and it literally obliterates gravity.
Excellent. There you go.
Without
What are
a
you
force
doing that for?
How do
He's
you
giving you a
obliterate
model. He's
gravity?
working on a model. Why would you put
That's
your
what I
head
was
down
going
like
to say
that?
to you. I'm going to give you
Because
9 points.
density's not a false gas. How can you say this obliterates
neither's
this
gravity.
force? It creates
gravity's
a force.
bending
You
in
know this,
space,
Gas.
man.
What frustrates me talking to you, Gas, is because I've heard you in debates. I know you know everything I'm saying to you, and you just pretend you don't. It's so fucking dishonest. You know what I'm going to say, and you just pretend that you've never heard it before.
I'm correcting you
No,
on your understanding.
No, because you're wrong.
You
so
think
can't be
gravity is a
protecting-
force.
Good,
If you
good.
understood the current science, gravity is not a force. Get that into your
It's
head.
not a force.
Yeah, I didn't
to be
say-
fair. Sorry, go ahead.
I said it creates a force.
No, it doesn't. According to Einstein, it creates a gravity well.
So
Mass
what did
is-
Einstein think the attractive force that brings things to the
He
ground
didn't.
was then?
He changed that idea. That was
So
Newton.
what did he conclude?
That mass creates gravity wells and things follow the path. No force.
That falls apart is right. Gas is right.
There's no force here. It was Newton, Isaac Newton, that came up with the force. The apple fell from the tree, and he thought the apple was being pulled by a force. That was changed in 1915. He removed the force.
So there's
because
no force, and
there's no
density makes things just go down just because.
Well, no, you've got a theory here by Gilligan, but
No, don't want to talk about that one then, no. So what's making them, why is it pointing that way?
it's not. Anything can go in any direction.
It's not. Okay,
It's
drop
because of
a
the
pen and let's watch it fly to the ceiling.
Yeah, but in this medium, it will go in that direction. If you change
Why?
the medium, because of the medium that it's in.
Okay, what
That's
happens
not
if
an
we
answer.
change the medium
No, that's
and
not.
put
that
it
is
in a
not an
vacuum
answer.
chamber?
I agree.
Yeah, if you put something underwater, it will go up, right?
Mirror, mirror,
What
you can
happens if we
fuck
put
off
it in
because
a
you never had the
vacuum chamber?
balls to come up here when I invited you, so fuck off.
I mean, look, Gilligan's got a paper on it, so he can probably give you a more in-depth analysis of what's actually going on.
Look, this is what I was trying to say to you. There's 9 reasons fundamentally why gravity is flawed. And if I go on to number 2, which is the fact that it depends on dark matter. Nobody knows what dark matter
What?
is. It's unobserved.
Gilligan, gravity doesn't depend on dark matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Did
does.
Newton know about dark matter when he first made his equations?
Well, he said mass attracts mass, and we know that that's
Right.
not the
What
case.
is dark matter?
Nobody knows, it's unobserved. But
Right.
fundamentally, gravity
Right.
needs it.
So no, it fundamentally doesn't.
It does.
So what?
It does.
Why do physicists postulate that?
Gravity
Uh,
requires invisible dark matter to explain galactic rotation,
no. So
curves, and large scale structures. Yes, it does.
why was dark matter postulated?
Because gravity needs an explanation to explain how
No,
things work.
Not the David
because our
Weiss version.
observations of the way that objects moved
The observation
said there had to be a larger mass influencing them. So right now they have a placeholder called dark matter until they discover what that larger mass
extra
is.
unseen mass. Yeah, the observation shows that
Right.
galaxies rotate too fast for
But
their visible mass, suggesting an unseen mass.
that doesn't mean gravity needs dark matter. It means the
The
movement
theory of
of what.
gravity needs it. The theory of gravity needs
I want to
it.
hear about this density paper. More about it.
Well, he can't
Tell them
show
about
it.
the direction. Tell them about the direction and things like that, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
vector
specifically
does
know
density
what
hold?
causes things to fall downwards. I don't know. All I know is that my theory reconciles gravity, or my density field model. It overcomes a lot of the hurdles of gravity.
What
is
vector?
dark matter?
How?
What are scientists specifically referencing dark matter as being at the moment?
Gilligan, do you not hear yourself talking and think, fuck me, I sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about? Do you never think that?
Sometimes, yeah, but I am trying to work.
I appreciate the fact you're taking the joke.
So look, Gilligan, it's very simple. You know, they want to know why things go like down that way. My answer is there is no bias. It can go in any direction. What is your answer?
Gas does that. Gas dissipates in all directions.
Well, yeah, that would be my answer. So even like Earth, I would say even like Earth or heavy objects, depending on the medium, would dictate the way they go.
Can we calculate which way they're going to go?
Well, I mean, you could do. That's what the models.
Can we predict?
Gilligan's got a model.
Can we predict if we pull something underwater? Can we predict how fast it's going to go back to the top?
It depends.
If it will go back to the top.
It depends
on what.
On the object, or so you'd have to get data for every object and every medium.
I take a football to the bottom of my pool. I have a 3-meter pool. We put that football on the bottom of the pool. Can we predict how quickly, from the time it is let go till the time it breaks the surface, can we predict how long that will take?
I guess it's possible if studies were done. Yeah, of course.
Well, do we need to do a study?
Yeah, because you'd have to do an experiment to test different objects and different.
Well, the experiment would come after the prediction, right? Do we know how, for example, do we know the viscosity and density of water?
Yeah.
Is that a known quantity? Okay. Do we know can we just weigh the ball and see how heavy it is?
Well, that's what I say. Every object you would have to take data on. So every object's density would be different, right? The water, the medium would be a different density.
Right. But
do you want to say buoyancy, Gas?
No, it's relative density. Relative meaning either object or medium.
Right. So if we make this prediction, what is that equation going to look like?
I mean, I'm not saying
I have to take into account buoyancy, right?
I'm not saying I could. I'm saying you could if you did studies.
Okay. Sure.
It's possible.
What does that? We would have to use the buoyancy equation, right?
Well, I mean, again, if that's
figure out how
you can do whatever helps you to get an equation, right? So you can like we say, you can think of gravity as a force. You're allowed to do that. Even though it's not a force, you can think of it. So that means you can make equations as if it were a force. So if you want to use density as if it were a force, you can do that. But remember, there's no scientific evidence for the force. We only have science, like physical science, for relative density.
So your argument is things fall down just because
of the medium that they're in. Because of the medium. If you change the medium, if you went to the Dead Sea where it's dead salty, you wouldn't go down. You would go up, right? Because of the medium, right? If I take an anvil and put it in the mercury, it's not going to go down.
Because of the buoyant force.
No, because of the medium. That's what's causing the effect.
In that word, is it? Is there an O in the word medium?
No, the medium is causing the effect, right? That's what's happening. That's what's taking place. Now, with your gravity, there's no science to physically back up an attraction.
It's amazing that every physicist in the world has missed this.
It's not that they've missed this. I've thought about this. They haven't missed it. They're lying to us.
Well, every one of them.
They all know it's because they've tested it, so they know it's flat. But
not one of them has ever thought, hey, there's something not quite right here. I think I should investigate.
There's not that many people testing the Earth. You know, there's not that many people. What do you mean? Thousands and millions. Every physicist
in the world is stupid or lying, in your opinion.
Yeah. So if they've physically tested if they've actually tested
my case.
If they've
how many physicists do you think there are?
No, so there are physicists
tens of thousands of physicists in the world.
Okay, there are physicists who just repeat what they've been told. But if there are physicists at the top who have actually gone out, looked at the Earth, tested the Earth,
what do you think of do you think a guy like Blitz just walks into his office, gets a piece of paper and reads it and says, "Yep, that's true," and then he's done with work for the day?
Do you realize how insane
he'll just get books, he'll get other people's research, he'll come to a conclusion, and if it sounds right, part of the model,
it's actually a paper's published, I believe.
Let's say if Blitz said the Earth is flat and this is he wouldn't be accepted. He wouldn't get his PhD, right? He wouldn't get the paper published. But if he says, yes, it's a globe, and this is why I think... No, not because he's wrong, because it doesn't follow the narrative. No, it doesn't follow he hasn't done any physical tests. Yeah.
Gas pressure. What knowledge do you have on this topic to be able to say that every physicist in the world is stupid or lying?
No, I'm not saying they're stupid. I'm saying there's two categories.
You're saying they're either stupid or lying. That's what you're saying, right?
Either they've just parroted what they've been told,
lying,
or... No, not lying. That's just repeating what you've been told.
So stupid.
Well,
a stupid person would just parrot, right, and not do any research of their own. That's a stupid person. And what's the other option?
I mean, if you want to put it like that, I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I do. So what's the other option?
And the other one is they've studied the Earth and knowingly know that it's not a ball.
So they know it's not a ball. So stupid or lying. So every single physicist in the world is stupid or lying, according to you. Someone that's got no knowledge and has never done anything.
Loads of them think the Earth's flat. What? So are they lying?
No, they don't.
They do.
Show me a PhD physicist anywhere that thinks the Earth is flat.
Rizlaw Don.
What? No, you're fucking trolling.
You asked for one, I gave you one.
Brilliant. Riz Lowden. He was in here earlier.
Is he a PhD student or PhD graduate?
And even if you're going to use Riz, no, absolutely not. But even
he's
if
a Glober now, isn't he?
Exactly.
I think he's gone
Is he really?
Yeah, he's changed again.
Oh, God.
He keeps changing his mind, yeah.
That was ridiculous. Right, anyway, I think I'm going to jump down here. Thanks for the chat, everybody. What's the time? It's gone first 4:45. Maybe I've got 5 more minutes then. Go on then. What do we want to talk about now? I wanted to get back onto this. We've gone way off on topic now. I wanted to get Gilligan to tell me, right, how you think they're going to fake stuff, because you're adamant that they're going to.
I have no idea, but you mentioned the fake sun or some form of simulator. You've already mentioned that. That's clearly how they're going to do something like that.
How? What are they going to do with the real sun when that happens?
The real sun will be...
The real sun would have disappeared.
I'm asking him, Gas. I've already got your opinion.
12-hour sun which is actually there's countless videos where people have specifically referenced that actually that's what you see. It kind of generally just rises on the horizon and then disappears. So if you get
where's all these videos? Sort of what?
You'll have to do your own research. I know I've seen.
No, don't say do your own
two.
research to me. Just tell me.
Well, I've definitely seen two. If you specifically wanted the links, I'd troll and dig them out.
But what I'm asking is, what have you seen videos of? Like, that's what I'm asking. I don't really just tell me what Antarctica
people that have been
you're
to
talking
Antarctica
about.
and they've referenced what they've seen.
Yeah. So what have they seen?
If they specifically see a 12-hour sun, at the point in which that sun disappears, they can easily create the other 12 hours. I don't know how they're going to do it.
So easily, but no idea how. Doesn't sound easy to me to switch the sun.
Doesn't sound easy. No, not at all. But the technology.
Are they just going to point to a naked woman over there, and everyone that's gone to do this observation is going to go, "Cool, look at the tits on her." And then as they're doing that, they're going to quickly crane up to the sun, remove the real sun, and put the fake sun in its path.
But the real sun would have already disappeared because as the real sun is.
So if the real sun's already disappeared, someone would be filming it going below the horizon, and then the globe will be debunked.
But it won't
because it sets due to perspective, according to you, right?
It sets due to perspective, yeah.
So someone will be able to film that.
But at the point in which it's setting,
someone's going to quickly switch it.
They will switch a simulator.
So they'll know exactly the perspective, and they'll go, right, this is the exact point. Quick, get the fake sun in the sky for the next 12 hours.
The perspective is going to be from whatever object that is circling across the flat plane. So whatever trajectory they need, they can do that.
No.
Yes.
Like, you don't actually believe that. I know you don't actually believe that that's what they're going to do.
You literally.
Well, then you can't laugh.
Exactly
you can't laugh at anybody, then, can you? If you think it's reasonable to suggest that people are going to be so bothered by a couple of flat earthers being in Antarctica that they're going to literally take a sun there that completely mimics, that's got the same sunspots, because they're going to film it the whole time. They're going to get the sunspots. They're going to get the sunspots and everything. So they're going to film this sun to make sure it is the same sun at all times. So they've completely mimicked, in your opinion, it's completely reasonable to suggest they've mimicked the sun perfectly, and that they're going to be able to seamlessly switch it in the sky at some random point without anybody that's there to specifically only watch that and film it at all times, and nobody's going to spot that. You think that's a reasonable argument?
I do. I genuinely think
no, you don't. You don't sound like a dickhead, really. Like you sound like a reasonable bloke. I know you want the Earth to be flat because you've put so much work into it and argued with your father-in-law or whatever, but you don't actually believe that's a reasonable position.
I genuinely do. I don't know how they're going to fake it, but I know that space isn't real.
I mean, they've been down there for God knows how long. I mean, they've had time to practice. I'm not saying that's not what they're going to do.
To practice, that does sound silly, but I'm with you.
What did you say?
I said it does sound a bit silly, but I am with you on it.
Time to practice.
No, I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying that it's, they've got time. They've had time. They've got people down there. It could be a studio. It could be, but I don't think they're going to go as far. I just think they're going to just fake it. It's all going to be, if they do bring one. You're saying that we should just trust them down there to bring back.
That's a valid point.
I'm not going to trust
anyone. Sorry, guys, for interrupting. I'm going to have to jump off there. Listen, WhatKast, thanks very much for having me up, man. Everyone have a good evening.
Cheers, mate.
Right.
Good luck. Take care.
Thank you. Right, I'll give it a few more minutes here. So these people, you think they can just do this? No matter how many times you practice it, there's people going there to specifically stare at the sun. So I don't know how you can reason in yourself.
You're asking us to trust the footage that comes back. Yeah, if they were doing what you said, yeah, and it was all straight up, yeah, then of course that's the point. Can we trust what they come back with?
Do you sometimes just think you're massively paranoid? Like, what? Who would be bothered to try to prove to a handful of
NASA.
people?
Well, they did a moon landing, so they will spend billions, millions on this. It's nothing. This is
NASA
nothing.
now.
What? This is a worldwide, this is
Absolutely
massive.
staggered. You know what's the most annoying thing about this? Yeah, but Gas, I would respect you more if you just would accept anything that's done. But as everyone said to you earlier on, you wouldn't, would you? Like, it doesn't matter what anybody showed you. You wouldn't accept it. No, it's not. You've said this a million times. It doesn't matter how it's done. You've literally admitted sending you into space doesn't change your opinion because space doesn't exist.
The way that it's done. That's the point. You've never listened to how flat earthers say. This Will Duffy has never listened.
I listen to flat earthers endlessly.
Yeah, but he hasn't listened to how flat earthers we're doing, following these orders, blah blah blah. That's not how we would do things.
What orders?
So basically, he has to go to this place, on this time. If it was real, he would be in the community and say, right, where do you think we should go? Should we go
It's
to
going
this
with
side,
ALE.
this side?
It's going with ALE, and they do that trip all the time, and nobody, and they always go to that place. That's where they go, right? And that's who he's going with. So nobody's told him that he has to send that company to that place at that specific time. That's the summer solstice. That's when he's going. That's the date. Why would you pick a different date if you're trying to observe the 24-hour sun? You'd do it when the 24-hour sun is there.
What I mean is they were meant to have done it last year. If you watch Banjo Japan,
you told me this before.
Right, so they were meant to go last year. They weren't ready. Something was wrong, and now they're prepared this year.
And if I remember rightly, you said to me that was your evidence for this one not going to happen because they all did it last year and it didn't go, and the same thing's going to happen. They're not the last minute. It's all going to go wrong, and yet there they are in Argentina waiting for the flight.
Yeah, well, probably something went wrong last year, but not prepared. Technology had to improve. That's what you were talking about. But again, who knows what they're going to do? I don't know what they're going to do until they return and we look at the footage, right?
And yet, but you've already disowned Whitsitt and Jaron.
Again, depends on what they bring back, right? If they bring back footage,
if it fits to you, then you like them, and if it doesn't, then they're shills.
Yeah, if they bring back contradictory evidence, then something's wrong.
Why?
Because we know that the sun.
You don't.
Well, yeah.
No,
that's why they've gone down there. That's the whole purpose of them going down there.
The sun, the sun's in the sky for longer and longer and longer. The more south you go, but for some reason, when you get to the most southerly point, it's just a normal day, according to you.
So look, I've got this video. Let me quickly just play this video here. This is from 12 years ago. Guy in Antarctic, midnight sun. This is what he calls it, right? So this is 12 years ago. It's called Andy's Awesome Adventures. And what he shows, he says the midnight sunset, right? So he showed, where's the sun? Let's go back. So look, he shows the sun. This is meant to be midnight, right? And then the sun is going down, right?
Well, behind a mountain.
Yeah, but it's meant to go around your head. So it's meant to circle back over.
Where they are, it's supposed to go slightly up and down around the horizon at all times, right?
Yeah, but it's meant to go around, in the north.
Not right above your head. They're not going to the actual South Pole. They're 80 degrees.
But this one is setting.
Yeah, exactly. There's a good point. What is the date of this one?
So they asked him, it's in the comments, right? They said to him, when did this take place? They was like, where did you depart from and what time? I want to check the latitudes. And he was like, he gave all that. Where he was like, one thing, what was the date? He said he don't remember, but he said it was mid to the end of December 2005.
So your standard of evidence is that video backs, even though the sun doesn't set in this video, I don't even know why you're showing me this. This doesn't do you any favors. The sun slightly goes beyond a mountain, but regardless, you'll accept this as real footage. But anything they bring back that contradicts this is definitely fake.
Well, this was before the flat Earth argument was a thing. So this was just someone going there on their own back just to
What
record.
direction is he looking at to see the sun?
Like I said, in the comments, he gives some details. You have to go and read the comments.
Yeah, that's a
Why don't you
point.
read the comments? You have them right in front of you. What
Yeah, but like I
direction
said,
is he looking at to see the sun?
he gives some details.
Yeah. Is he at any point looking south?
Yeah.
He
Oops.
is.
The point is that the sun sets.
No, that's not the
where
point.
he is.
Oh, look.
That is the point. That's the point of the video. It's called
How can the
Midnight
sun
Sunset.
be south of you on your ice wall?
Yeah.
How can you look south to see the sun on your ice wall?
I didn't say if it was south. I didn't give you the direction.
But what happens if we go to the ice wall and look south and see the sun? What does that tell you?
Well, I'm just pointing out that
Yeah.
this video was a long time ago, and
I'll just not answer the question.
he didn't say, "Look, the sun is circling over my head." Right?
You can
That's
see
what
the sun at all points in that video, other than it slightly disappears behind a mountain at some point, right? And then immediately pops back up again the other side. So there's no one's. You're not going to pretend that was the sunset, are you?
Well, it's supposed to go around you, right? Meant to
Yeah,
come
it
back.
does, but there's a mountain there, and it's probably not taken in the solstice, so it's just close to it, right?
And it's not for the entire continent of the Antarctica. For
Yeah.
example, if you're at McMurdo
Yeah, but
Station,
look, he
the
says
sun still sets.
he types. Remember, he's there. He's observing, and he types sunset. So that means the sun is going down in his eyes. That's what I'm pointing out. In his eyes,
But
the
yet the
sun.
video is just light all the way through.
Where is he in Antarctica?
So look, he writes.
He's near the coast,
Look,
right? We see water, right?
sunset in Antarctica, right? And that was 12 years
Yes.
ago.
Why do you not engage with questions that you're asked?
Because I've already
Where is
answered
he
you.
in
I've
Antarctica?
told you. He gives details, some details in
Okay,
the
so
comment.
you could just say, I don't know where in Antarctica he is. Could you
Right,
not?
I've just told you.
Yeah,
he's
you
given
could.
He's given some
It's
details.
more credible if you do that, Gus. Rather than
Well, I've
just
told
clearly,
you the
obviously.
I've given you the
You
details.
didn't give any
Is
details.
it-
You couldn't even tell us which direction he was looking. You can't tell us where he is, which direction he's looking in, what time of year it is. You haven't told
Could
anything.
we say he's on the coast of Antarctica?
I have no idea.
Do you see water?
I have no idea where he is. I'm just going
Do
by
you
what
see
the video
water
says.
in the video?
No.
That was
gotta be
shit
kidding me,
evidence,
Gus,
wasn't
or
it, Gus? Let's be honest. That was terrible evidence, wasn't it?
It's not evidence. I was just pointing out that somebody's been to Antarctica and they say in December, mid-December.
What was you pointing at? What was the point? If you didn't want to present that as evidence, why the fuck did you want to put it up on the screen to show everybody your lack of evidence then?
To point out that people have been there.
Yeah, I know people have been there. I never denied that.
And they've said the sun sets.
And then you showed a video of the sun not setting to prove that.
Yeah, but that's what the video's called, Midnight Sunset.
That was absolutely the most ridiculous piece of evidence I've ever seen. Here you go. Let me show you that people have been to Antarctica and shown the sunset. Oh, here's a video. The sun doesn't actually set, but he says it does in the title, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, but you got to think about the time and place. So this was before the flat Earth argument, right? So he's just gone down there. So you would expect, if you were down there in December, that he would say, "Look, the sun is circling overhead." 24
I
hours.
thought all
right?
of the ancient people knew the Earth was flat. So how is this before the flat Earth argument? That's a weird claim.
But then why did Brian Cox specifically say, "Oh, nobody ever has ever thought the Earth was flat"? Well, they clearly did. So that was disingenuous.
Oh, they did?
Nobody of any significance, he means. Obviously, people.
Oh, what? The ancients were insignificant.
Sorry?
All ancient cultures were insignificant.
If they thought that the Earth was flat, then they hadn't looked at it properly. Look at the stars. The 2 points of rotation in the sky show you that it cannot possibly be
so
flat.
technologically advanced.
Gilligan, when did
Southern celestial rotation, northern celestial rotation, sphere?
No.
Yes. Why not?
No.
How do you,
not at all.
Why
how
not?
do you have two centers of rotation?
If you've got, in fact, if you've got a football pitch and you've got the teams that come out on one side of that football pitch they'll be coming out from your right, and if you're down the other end, they'll be coming out on the left. There you go.
Okay.
Right, what's that
How
got
does
to
that
do with
explain
2
two
points of
center of
rotation?
rotations?
Yeah. What's that got to do? That's like saying, yeah, I painted this wall blue and this wall red. There you go, evidence.
I might have misinterpreted what somebody said.
Do you know that Polaris? What do you think Polaris is?
North Star.
Right. So what do you believe happens with Polaris in the sky?
That everything rotates around Polaris.
Everything.
The stars.
Yeah, all
everything.
stars. Yeah.
Right.
What does it
And
look like
then-
from Australia?
Exactly.
Well, you don't see the North Star.
So what do you see when you look south in Australia?
Southern Cross.
And what happens at the Southern Cross?
Well, no, not everyone at the same time sees the Southern Cross.
Everything appears to rotate around the
Gas,
we get that.
stop desperately trying to get him out of trouble. You know that this kills you,
And Gas,
right?
not everyone in the
Absolutely
northern hemisphere
ridiculous.
sees Polaris at the same
Yeah,
time.
so at the same time is what I said. At the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
Not everyone in the northern hemisphere sees Polaris at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the southern hemisphere, you would expect that Australia, South Africa,
Only
South
places
America.
where night has fallen,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
you see it at the same time. Just like in the northern hemisphere. It's a non sequitur.
But that doesn't happen in reality.
It does happen in reality.
What are you talking about?
There are no observations of 3 observers.
Gas, I think you're a troll as well.
Ah.
Gas, like unless I knew that like you was bloody Spurs chemo and all this shit. In the
He's not a
past,
troll. We're not trolls.
Then I would think you was definitely a troll. But Gilligan, you've been pissing yourself laughing at Gas here. Some of the things he's been saying. So like, you've got troll vibes.
Oh dear. That was
You
just
also
what
say
said
the
about
things that
footage.
you say laughing. Like you can't
No,
even
it's
get through
not.
your own sentences laughing.
Say that again.
Yeah, you sound like you're laughing whenever you're giving evidence.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not always. It depends what. I'm
Not that
talking
you've
about.
given any evidence, to be fair,
No,
other than
I-
2 football teams coming out and going different ways. It's somehow an explanation for the Southern Cross.
I
Ronaldo
did-
comes
I
out on
did
the
say I was
right,
trying
and
to work.
Messi comes out on the left.
Yeah. So what? How do you explain 2 points of rotation in the sky without Gas jumping in desperately pretending that doesn't happen? What do you think, Gilligan?
Well, by what mechanism you get 4 refractions of the Southern Cross? No idea. By what
Or
medium you get that.
refractions.
What are you talking about? You think that you can see the so if you look in every direction in the south, you'll see the Southern Cross. So
Well,
if
you're
you
gonna-
south is it south on flat Earth is different directions everywhere, right? So
Yeah,
if you
but
stand
you've
in,
got,
so
really,
you-
you've got 3 points you're talking about. You're talking about South America, South Africa, and Australia.
well, no. If you go
Talking
on a
about
boat,
3
you've got
points.
every direction. If from land mass,
Yeah,
yes.
but
If you're on the
3,
sea,
yeah,
if
3
you
specific
point
land
south,
masses.
you'll see the Southern Cross wherever you are. How?
Yeah, so if you've got specifically 4, are you seeing the same Southern Cross? Or are you
You
seeing
think
a
there's
third?
more
Wait.
than one Southern Cross?
Gilligan, you're in the UK, right?
Yeah.
If you and I both have nighttime and both have clear skies and we look north, can we see Polaris? I'm in the US.
We would all, yeah.
Okay, so how do we have 2 refractions of Polaris at the same
You
time?
haven't. You've just got 1.
Oh,
If it's nighttime,
why does it
all
change
northern.
in the southern hemisphere?
Yeah, because it has to. That's what I always
has
say
to
to them.
be, yeah,
Everything's
exactly,
normal
yeah.
in the north. It's all normal in the north. Once you get to the south, you've got 5 of everything because you need them. So it just is.
All the stars go around the North Star. So how is this difficult to understand?
It's not Gas. You just don't understand it. That there's 2 points of rotation. So depending on where you're looking, you could say all stars go around the Southern Cross.
No, they
Couldn't
don't.
you? Yes, you could. You could literally say it's exactly the same thing.
So I've just
All
told
the
you
stars
that's
are traveling in.
that's so
No, I don't care what you told me. You're wrong. If all the stars are going the same way, which they are, but depending on where you're looking, they appear to be rotating in different directions. There's 2 points of rotation. So if you're looking at whichever point of rotation you're looking at, it would appear and can be argued that all of the stars are traveling around that point, right?
on your model, but in reality, the southern point is
You're
only
denying
seen.
there's 2 points of rotation, are you?
Oh my goodness.
Yes
At the
or
same
no?
time, you would need Australia, South Africa, and South America to see it at the same time. They don't.
but you don't.
Only
Yeah,
Australia sees it,
Wait,
then South America,
why do you
then
need
South
more?
Africa.
one
It
at a
goes
Why do
time.
you
around
need?
one at a time.
Why do you
Drivel.
need more than one observer to confirm it's a point of rotation?
At the same time, just like the northern hemisphere,
But so
you need more.
explain to me. So here's the thing. I live in Florida. I take a star trail photo of Polaris. I then travel to Australia. I take a star trail photo of Sigma Octantis. Are there 2 points of rotation in each in the photos I've taken?
There appears to be a point of rotation.
Okay, so how does that happen on flat Earth?
No idea.
Okay, so you don't have an explanation. It's kind of weird how we do. It's kind of weird how you could recreate this at home. If you put like Christmas lights on your ceiling, Christmas lights on your floor, attached a string to a football, put a GoPro on top and a GoPro on bottom, and then just spun the ball, you're going to get similar Star Trail photos. And it would take you, what, like maybe 45 minutes to set that up?
But that's
And
like
you
me
could
saying, just
recreate the same thing. Why
I
is
could
it
say,
so easy to recreate the globe, but you guys have no answer for what you're talking about?
but it's not necessarily easy to it might be easy to recreate that, but then we go back to the gravity argument, which is that there's fundamental flaws in it.
No, we're not. We're talking. Don't run from
No,
the
I'm saying we
topic.
could go back to. I'm not saying we are.
Josh,
we
but
could.
Josh, I think you're being silly because don't you realise that if you put an azimuthal dome over your head in your own house, you could recreate different whatever you wanted to recreate depending on where you are, and you can all have your own personal styles that way.
I forgot to calculate for the azimuthal grid of vision. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I do that all the time.
Me too.
So yeah, I mean, you can't claim this southern point of rotation without the three observers.
You need the three observers.
You're trolling.
You know
You're working on the assumption.
You know what's fun about that, Gas?
Without that,
if you're talking
You
about a
said-
model, WhatKast?
You know what's
a model,
fun about that
hasn't
claim,
been verified.
Gas?
Just like the 24-hour
Before-
sun hasn't been verified until
Yeah,
they
yeah,
come
yeah,
down
yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Gas. What's great about your claim is that you need 3 observers. Is you used to say we need to have 2 observers.
No,
You got to
it's
have 2
always been
observers at the
3.
same time.
It's always been 3.
And no, it hasn't, because then Globey showed you exactly what you asked for, and you
I told him
immediately
3. He
changed
went
it
and
to
did
3.
2.
No, but you can't explain 2. You can't even explain 1.
You don't even have to.
You have
can use
0
their proper
explanations. You have exactly 0 explanations. You have exactly 0 predictions. You have exactly nothing. Like, flat Earth is like you trying to hold dry sand in your hand. It just keeps slipping through your fingers when we have nothing but boulders of evidence.
And to explain one phenomena, you have to completely forget about all of the others because you might be able to struggle to explain one, but then all the others don't work. And then you go into a different topic and then you've got to disregard the one you just proved a minute ago. But we don't have to do that with the globe.
Perfect example of that. We were talking about photos of the Earth. I gave a pretty detailed explanations about the photos and how they couldn't be faked and how you would have to prove how you would analyze them to prove they were faked and everything. As soon as I was done, everybody said boring, and then we started talking about gravity. So completely gish galloped away.
No, we accept your assumption. Your assumption is that it can't be faked.
No,
But
not my assumption.
It is an assumption.
Gilligan,
what
how long
evidence
have I been
do you have that it's an assumption? What work have you done to disprove that or to doubt that?
But I could easily say a dog's got 4 legs, 2 ears, therefore a dog's a cat. Just because it...
How
Gilligan,
has that got anything to do with what he said?
Gilligan, are there experts in their field?
But there are experts that specifically say it can be faked.
Okay, name one, please.
I can't off the top of my head.
Okay, perfect. How long should somebody be doing something in order for you yourself individually? So this is your opinion. How long would somebody need to be doing something in order to be considered an expert?
That's irrelevant. Someone could be doing something for 1 year, be an expert, and 50 years not an expert.
Okay. How long would someone who dedicates their lives to one thing, should they be doing something before you yourself would consider them an expert? I'm asking a very specific question of you, and you're like dodging the question.
But Brian Cox is an expert, but I wouldn't trust necessarily
Also,
what he has to
not
say.
answering my questions. Okay, you have. Do you go to a mechanic?
Yeah, I did. They fitted the
Okay,
wrong spark
perfect.
plugs in my car.
How
Of course,
how
loads of
long
damage.
how long would you want that mechanic to have experience for in order to consider them an expert? Like a month, a year, 5 years, 12 years?
Let's try surgeon.
Oh yeah, surgeon's even better.
Yeah, but surgeons make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, they
You
do,
broke
but
your arm. Go ahead.
Would you trust a surgeon with years and years of experience that could possibly have a slim chance of making a mistake?
No, I'd ask them to give me the information.
Versus a YouTube video or gas pressure doing your operation.
I'd ask them to give me the information for me to make an informed decision.
Yeah, I agree. But ultimately, your informed decision would be surgeon that's done this operation 1 million times and maybe made one mistake versus video, DIY, and a knife.
Would
that's
you
obvious.
trust?
The answer to that's obvious, isn't it?
Would you trust the 27-year
It's obvious.
surgeon
You answered it.
or the 2-year surgeon? 27 years versus 2 years.
What about a 50-year?
Why it'd probably be about 80, wouldn't he? Don't trust him. Shaky hands and all that.
So I could go and find somebody that's got experience and expertise for 50 years and dedicated their life that specifically says that the footage can be faked. Well, you're going to refute that, aren't you?
You could. How long do you think I've been doing this, like as a professional?
I was just going to say the comments that you were saying about the footage. That's something I'll take away, and I'll investigate that further.
You won't, though. You know the amount of times I've heard Flat Earthers say, "Yeah, I can't answer that. Let me take it away, and I'll get back to you." Never see him again, ever.
And it's weird that we have to get into like conversations about credentials. Like, you're just saying, oh, it's my assumption. No, it's not my assumption. It's literally physics, the way light works, the way film works, and my 27 years of experience. I'd be willing to put money down, Gilligan, that you have likely seen some of the photos I've taken, especially given where you live. I recently just did 2 jobs for the London Times. So if you ever come across the London Times, there's a good chance you might see my photos if you look at it on the right day. Like, I'm not just some fly-by-night TikTok guy that claims to know something about photography. Like, you ask any photographer worth their salt who actually does it for a living about what I told you, they'll say, oh yeah, that's 100% correct. This is something you can prove yourself.
Gilligan, this is the point, right? So, like, basically, he's got all of these credentials, all of this wealth of experience. You ask a question, he answers the question. Your response is, yeah, boring.
I never said it was boring. That was Gas.
Gas said boring, and you said, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I didn't say that at all.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
I'm literally did.
I'm literally going to clip it and put it
you
out.
Agreed.
Yeah, because you're just droning on and on and on. I mean,
that's not an argument. That's not an argument against it, is it, Gus? If he didn't explain it fully, then you wouldn't accept it even more.
But we're about.
Like, that's a vague explanation. Like, you just can't win. So he explains it fully. It's like, yeah, that was boring.
Yeah, but experts said the Titanic couldn't sink, and it did.
Experts are wrong sometimes.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, but so who's ever denied that?
He's telling me it cannot be faked.
Who's ever denied that experts are wrong sometimes? But all of this,
you guys are saying that because you've got an expert, they're not going to make a mistake.
No, I didn't. I literally just gave I just said about surgeons saying that surgeons done loads of surgery and made a mistake a few times. Would you still choose him? Experts are not wrong all the time. Well, they wouldn't be experts, would they? That's a stupid thing to say. Experts are wrong sometimes. Yeah.
Is there a difference between me saying My photos are the best photos ever taken. No one can ever beat them. And me analyzing someone else's photos and providing evidence that it could not be faked. Is there a
It
difference
just
between
means
those
you're
two?
not privy to how NASA did it. They have more advanced understanding of how
Oh, okay.
cameras
So
work.
you are privy then.
Like endless paintings of the Blue Marble in 1972. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah,
So
they're
you're
using
looking at the
techniques.
evidence. You're
They're
looking at
using
the evidence and
techniques
making your own
that
decision, which is great.
they're using techniques that Josh has no idea how they're doing it. That's the
Okay,
point.
so how did they do it then, Guess?
That's the point. They have techniques.
Okay, so what technique did they use?
Guys,
Oh,
talking like that doesn't help you at all. Just so
but
you know.
it's like I can't use the R word. It's just like it's so ridiculous. If they're
You
using
can't use the R word because you're the idiot in the room. And it would
if
be
they're
stupid
using
of you to do
techniques
so.
that are not privy to the public, how would the public know?
So how do you
don't
know they're using techniques?
How
I
do you
need
know
to
that?
intro
How
for
do
a
you
second. I need
exactly?
to tap out. I followed you all. Thanks for inviting me in.
Cheers, Gilligan.
Sorry, I was working. All right, I
Adios.
wasn't trolling. Peace out. Catch you. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah, so that's the point. Is that
So
they have
how do you know they're using these techniques that you're not privy to?
because if you can't figure out what they're doing something you don't understand.
But you do.
Ah,
I don't have to understand it.
no. So
we know
Gas,
that it's fake.
give me the evidence that says that they fake the photos. Actually,
know
let
they
me do that
cannot
for
go.
you. Let me do that for you. It's impossible for a rocket to go into space, so we know the photos are faked. That's all you're going to say. All you're doing is showing that the photos disagree with your cognitive bias, ergo, they have to be fake.
Right,
Yeah.
so we know that rockets cannot go into space. We know you cannot go to that position in space to
We know.
take that picture. Yeah,
Who's
because of science.
we? Who's we?
Yeah.
It's like,
Flat earthers.
yeah, so the community knows that you can't go to that
community.
position
Who's in the
to take that
community?
picture.
Who's in the community?
There are millions of flat earthers.
Yeah, and how many of them know anything about physics?
Millions and millions. So they all know that
Zero.
you cannot go to Narnia to take that picture. You can't prove that you can go to space to take that picture. So we know it's fake. Now, if you're saying you don't know how they did it, that means they have technology that is deceiving you.
But not you. No, you can't pull the wool over Gas's eyes with this stuff. It's all CGI.
Yeah, because we know you can't go to space. Every flat earther knows nobody leaves the enclosed system.
Flat earthers think there's a dome over our head, so I won't listen to them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we base that on gas pressure without a container. Not possible according to the definition.
You get
and
destroyed
science.
on that topic every time you talk about it as well.
It's not about being destroyed, it's about what you can demonstrate. You can't demonstrate gas pressure without a container.
Yes, I can.
That's
I'm
the
living
point.
in it right now.
That's your assumption. Where's the physical demonstration?
A good thing we don't have gas pressure, we have atmospheric pressure. Two different things.
Yeah, that's gas under pressure.
That is atmosphere under pressure.
What is the atmosphere? Is it gas?
It's made up of a multitude of things, some of which is gas, but there's also other things in there.
I don't care about other things. Is that gas under pressure?
No, we got to. You're
Oh,
talking
the
about
gas
the
is not
medium
under
above
pressure.
us, right?
Oh, so you heard it here
We're
first.
talking about
the
the
gas
medium above
is
us,
not
right?
under pressure, so
Are
there
we
is no
talking-
gas pressure.
Okay. Does it rain in a?
You
propane
just said
tank?
there is no gas pressure.
No, I said we're talking about atmospheric pressure.
Right, is that atmosphere made of gas?
It's made of a multitude of things, some
I
of
don't
which
care
is
about the
gas, some
multitude.
of
I'm
which
saying,
is
is there
liquid.
gas in
There's
that
even
atmosphere?
solids in our atmosphere.
Don't care about that. Is there gas in
Oh,
the
yeah,
atmosphere?
because it disagrees with you.
No, because I'm talking about gas.
Yeah.
Is the gas in the atmosphere or not?
Gas, do you
There
still
is
think
gas
there's as
in the
much?
atmosphere, but there's also liquid and solids.
Who
Gas,
cares about that?
Gas, do you remember
Go
when
on.
we spoke about pressure gradients and you said that the desert can create just as much pressure gradient as the city because it's the trees and that are creating the pressure from the density?
The gases are created at ground level, yeah.
But then I said about where there's nothing at all to create it, and you just said, yeah, it just is.
What?
That's what you said.
What are you talking about? So the gases are created down here. That's why it's more dense.
Yeah.
And as it goes off, It
And
thins
then we
out.
spoke about what creates it, and you said the trees and stuff, right?
So trees, plants, animals, the earth.
And then I
yeah,
said it's
down
just
here.
as
That's where
dense
it's
in the
created.
desert, and you said
Just as what? What do you mean? Is it dense in the desert?
it's just as dense in the desert. It's not less dense in the desert as it is where there's loads of trees and plants.
At the desert, it'll be more dense at the surface level than above it.
What's creating it there?
Well, that's I've just told you.
No, you haven't.
So the earth, plants, animals.
Plants.
The earth, gases come from the earth.
There's sand. So plants and trees are irrelevant then if it's just the earth, right? So why mention them?
I'm just saying where they come. It's all created down here at base level.
So you don't need plants and trees, no?
That's one way gases come from.
But you're saying it doesn't matter about them because in the desert it's just as dense, right?
Because you've got the earth.
So you don't need plants and trees then?
Oh my days. What is wrong with you? I'm saying all the gases are created at surface. My point is, gas is created down here at surface level. That's why it's more dense. And as it goes up,
endlessly fills up. It's created all the time and endlessly fills up the dome until when?
Until it reaches the dome, yeah.
And then endlessly, does it dissipate on its own?
Well, it depends. It depends on the temperature. So if you've got cold, the gases will fall, becomes more dense. If it's warm, it will rise. So it just depends, yeah. It will just spread.
But it's not rushing up. It's not rushing up to the less dense medium at the top, staying down here because density and buoyancy, right?
No, gas is moving all directions. So it's not rushing anywhere. It's just going and filling any available space.
Yeah. Why is it not rushing to fill the available space? Because it's less dense up there. It's a partial vacuum up there.
It's already filled. The space is filled.
So the space is completely filled. No more room.
Well, what do you mean no more room?
No more room. It's filled up from the ground to the dome. Completely filled. No more room to rush to, right?
Yeah, but it's less at the top.
Why?
Because it's created. I've just told you.
So
it's created down
if it's
here.
less at the top, that's less dense at the top. So why is it not rushing up to fill the less dense space?
It's filling this space. Yes, all the spaces. So any gases
When is it going to fill the space? How many millions of years?
Right, if I release gas from a can, it's going to go everywhere and fill available space.
You're not this dense. You know what I'm saying, and you know you can't answer it. So shall we just move on?
Well, I've just answered you. It fills available space.
You say it needs a container. And you say that because you assume if it doesn't have a container, it will rush off into space, right? So I'm saying, why is it not rushing up to fill the partial vacuum that's left at the top of the dome? And you're saying it does. And then I'm saying, is it full up then? And you're saying, no, it's not full up.
Yeah, it's not a partial vacuum. It's just other gases.
That's a partial vacuum. It's less dense.
No, it's just other gases.
There's other gases up there, but it's still full. No more room, but it's still being created all the time, but there's no more room, nowhere for it to go now.
Well, we live in a dynamic system, so that means things are constantly changing. We have a cycle, right? That's why
it's
a
saying
creation.
Words now. Josh, you've got anything to say about this because it's getting on my tits a little bit.
Well, it is difficult to understand, yeah. You got no one else in the box who wants to come up?
Just having a look.
Got over 100 people here, man.
I don't know, because
it's a big event going on. Antarctic exploration.
Oh, Globey's
right?
in here. I'm going to invite Globey. I've never spoken to him, so I'm going to invite him up.
Let's get the voices up
if
here.
You can. I'll get Banbleflick up. I've not got that much longer, so.
So gas pressure doesn't understand gas pressure? That's wild.
Yeah, I know.
So gas pressure. If I have two containers, these containers are connected, but they have a divider. One's pressurized to 10 psi, one's pressurized to 5 psi, and I remove the separation barrier between the two. Yeah. What happens?
They'll equalize.
Okay, so why doesn't the 14.7 psi on the ground equalize with the 10 psi at the top of Mount Everest?
Because we live in a dynamic system.
Okay, so that doesn't answer my question. Why since you just said it,
Mm-hmm.
the low pressure is going to equalize with the high pressure because it's in a
Yeah.
container.
Yeah, but in your container, there's no like CERN, there's no weather
Okay.
system, there's no moon.
Perfect.
Right?
So where in your container, where in your definition for gas pressure, does it require that the gas pressure be higher at the surface?
No, to get the pressure, it requires a container.
To get the pressure, it requires container. So there can be no pressure on the top of the container.
There is pressure at the top of the container.
What's the pressure at the top of the container?
Just less pressure.
Okay, why isn't that pressure equalized with the pressure at the bottom on the surface?
Because we live in a dynamic system.
That's not an answer. Circular reasoning.
That is an
Sorry.
answer. I've just told you we have
It's
a
not an
he
answer.
always
It's not an
gives.
explanation. It's an explanation that disagrees with your previous premise. You're saying that gas pressure requires containment because otherwise all the gas would go out into space. But for some reason, you're allowed to have gas pressure at the surface at 14.7 psi and near 0 psi at the top of the container, and there is no rush for the pressure at the bottom to shoot up towards the top of the dome. So the container is by definition not required.
Yeah, but the problem is there's no demonstration of such things. So we can't take gas, put it under pressure without like a container.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah. So
your
what would
claim.
happen? What
It's
would
your
happen? Would the
claim,
pressure,
Gas.
yeah. Would the pressure drop as you got
Because you're
higher
saying
up?
that you can do it without the container.
No, you're
Would the pressure
saying
go? Would the pressure drop as we go higher up on a globe?
exactly.
I think I figured it out. The firmament is made of rubber and is really, really bouncy. So when the molecules of gas hit that, it bounces back to the Earth, but
The
then the
gas-
Earth is not as bouncy.
I've got it. The gas
It absorbs it.
is like a wrestler when they throw the wrestler to the ropes and they can't stop themselves no matter what. They just keep running from ropes backwards and forwards. That is the flat Earth model.
And then
WWE.
the Earth is like the guy clotheslining them in the middle of the ring. So that's why it's always more dense. It's like a
I forgot
clothesline.
about an aspect. So
Oh, we got another.
we
factor.
have what is called the thermosphere, where the temperature increases, which is what we would expect if gases were pressing on a container.
Okay, so why does it get colder when we go up there?
Yeah, but if you go even higher, it gets warmer.
Where? Prove it.
In the thermosphere, bro.
You've never been up there, so you can't make claims on what it is.
Thermosphere, yeah, but
There's no
tools
such
have
thing
been,
as
What
up
evidence
there.
do you have?
tools have been sent up to the thermosphere, and they say
what
it's
evidence
hot.
do you have of that, Gas? Show me the experiment that you did to prove that it's hotter up there.
As I've just told you, we have.
You just told me a bunch of nonsense. Where's the experiment?
We don't know. You've
tools
never
have
been.
been sent up there,
Where's
and
the
the
experiment?
thermosphere it gets hotter.
So you have no experiment, Gas?
So there's your answer as
So
to
you
why.
have no experiment, Gas?
So you're thinking it gets colder
So
and
you have
colder,
no
but in fact
experiment,
it gets
Gas?
warmer.
I'm just glad that we could clarify that you don't have an experiment to demonstrate
Hide
that it
what?
gets hotter.
Hang on a minute. Sledge hog or whatever. What are you talking about? Hide what? I haven't got anything. I'm not hiding anything here. I'm just sitting there. I don't know what you mean by that.
So I can show you an image of.
And also, if it gets hotter up there, why doesn't the pressure go up?
Well, that would include the pressure, right?
What's the
No.
altitude of the thermosphere? Do you even know that? Where's the
Yeah, I can show
thermosphere
you,
to
look.
start and end?
Let's have a look. Look, I can show you. Right?
Are we trusting NASA for this information, just by the way? Which government agency are we trusting to get
So
this
look, we have
information from?
different layers of
let's
our
do this.
skull. Right, so we have different
Cartoons.
layers. Right,
Cartoons
now,
is all
at
we
the
get from gas
thermosphere, the temperature increases, right? We are way down here, and our firmament is way up there,
Okay, so the pressure should be higher.
right?
So the pressure should be higher.
So we have stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere.
How about this? Gas pressure.
What?
What happens when you heat up a gas?
Right, so look,
What happens
there
when
you
you
go.
heat up a
Look,
gas?
temperature, look,
I
it
like
gets,
what
when it
happens-
starts showing.
What
Look,
happens
it gets-
when you heat up a
freaking
gas
spaceships
pressure?
in the mesosphere.
What happens when we heat
that
up
was in the
gas?
exosphere. What happens?
What happens? What happens when we heat up gas? What happens to the pressure?
What do you mean? What happens?
What do you mean? What do I mean? When I heat up a gas,
increase. The
if I
temperature
heat up a
increase.
container,
It's not about heating up a gas. What's happening
you
is
said
the
it's
gas
hotter up there, so it should be higher pressure.
because it's
Logically
hitting.
consistent. Logically consistent.
Yes, because it's
gas.
hitting the container. That's why it's
Yeah,
heating
so
up.
that
Just like
means
down here.
it's
Down here is
high
warm.
pressure.
Down here is warm because it's on the surface,
Wait,
and
Yeah.
up there at the top
if
surface is also warm.
if
Also,
That's the
gas
problem.
pressure
fills
should be
every
higher.
if gas fills every available space, why do we have layers?
Just different gases.
No, it's not
But I
different
thought
gases. It's the
gas
same
filled
composition.
every available space. So how do we have different layers of different gases?
If
How
there's
does
no
that happen?
space, if there's no space for the gas to fill,
Okay, so
I love
mm,
watching him get so upset.
it's like weird.
is there space for the gas to fill in your house? Like, does gas just like escape your house, or could we have layers there? If there's like, why isn't all the oxygen at like the floor and all the hydrogen up at the ceiling?
Yeah, why isn't carbon dioxide, which is heavier than air, why doesn't that sink to the
Well,
ground?
where's all the helium?
Good question. Can we harvest helium from our atmosphere?
Right.
Can we
I don't know.
harvest
I don't know.
hydrogen
Can
from
you?
our
Can you
atmosphere?
demonstrate that you can if you can?
No, you can't. And that's the entirety of the point, because if we were an enclosed system, we would be able to harvest hydrogen and helium, but we have to mine for it. It's the two lightest gases, and
Yeah,
we can't harvest
helium
them.
can be up in the atmosphere at a high altitude.
No, it's not in our atmosphere.
It's not at the top of the dome gas.
We don't know that.
We do know that.
We do, because it's not a
You
dome.
just like to say we don't.
There is a dome because you can't have the gas pressure without the dome.
And everyone's
already
just
demonstrated
explained
that's
where
not
you're
right.
fucking wrong about that.
The
There's no
only dome
explanation
that
without a
exists
demonstrate.
here,
You need to demonstrate that I'm wrong.
Gas.
the
don't-
only
you don't
dome
put it
is
this
the
way,
one
Gas.
trying to hold your
Demonstrate
brain.
the dome.
Gas, put it this way. I'm not taking anything you say as credible because you believe that this weekend people are going to replace the real sun with a sun simulator and nobody's going to notice.
Well, that was
Everybody
Gilligan
that's
who said
filming
that,
it
right?
24/7 is not going to notice anybody doing that. And that's a reasonable position that you think that's a reasonable position for you to take. So
Well,
I'm
that
not
was
going to listen
Gilligan.
to you that there's a fucking dome, if you don't mind.
Well, that was Gilligan you were arguing with about that.
How hot
Do you
allegedly
disagree
is
with
the
him?
thermosphere?
Yeah, I said I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to fake the footage.
Fake the footage. So
Yeah.
Jeranism and Witsit and the two other flirts that are going.
Yeah,
they're
if they
all
come
going
back
to
with a
lie.
24-hour
He's
24-hour
already,
video.
earlier on in this live, he's already declared that if Jaron and Witsit come back with evidence that he likes them, and if they come back with other evidence that he doesn't like, they're both NASA shills. He's literally said that earlier in the live.
Wow.
No.
Also, apparently, Globey's in the chat. Or Globey's in the box.
Don't think so, but I'm only here for another about 5 anyway. Let's get him up. He's not there. Hang on, he is. Yeah, okay.
So how hot, though, real quick, how hot is the thermosphere alleged to be gas pressure?
Again, I'm not sure, but it's warmer. That's the.
Okay,
that's
so it's warmer, so the pressure should be higher. Got it. Thank you. Go ahead, Globey.
I'm working, so I can't stay long. I see you're getting off in a few minutes anyway. Nice to talk to you. Haven't been on the line. Absolutely. I just want to put in perspective to everyone that gas pressure thinks space is fake because the vacuum would suck all of the Earth's gases out, right? He demonstrated this, tried to demonstrate it on a live years ago when Maria was going live by filling up a balloon with air under pressure, and he let the balloon go, and you know how it would shoot across the room? He tried to demonstrate that if you hold his vacuum cleaner up to the balloon,
No, he didn't.
up to the end of the balloon,
Did.
that it would suck the air out of the balloon so fast that the balloon wouldn't shoot across the room, demonstrating that a vacuum would suck all the air out. Mind you, when he did it, he failed miserably and had to hold on to the balloon with his left hand while trying to hide the fact that he was doing so, to make sure the balloon didn't shoot.
It was glorious.
I called him a vacuum cleaner salesman for like 2 years after that.
Gas, what do you have to say about that?
My only regret in life is that I don't have that recorded. If somebody does, please send it to me. That it's just gold. Respond, please, Gas.
Not the cricket.
Hold on, I'm just getting the video up.
He has the
Oh,
video.
you're going to show the video?
What?
Well, he has, I think
Record.
he doesn't have the right video. He
I'm
doesn't
sure.
have the video that makes him look like a goober.
Well, they all will anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yes, you have a lot in common with insurance companies. Deny, delay, defend. It's kind of crazy.
So, how this works is low pressure is what we're told space is, right?
Boo,
This isn't your video. I was all
And
excited for a second.
once you put low pressure behind high pressure, you will not get the same effect, right? That's how we explain how rockets do not work in a vacuum. Very
Wait,
simple science.
It moved though.
Yeah, because obviously it's not a full vacuum, right? So it moves like that with the air, pushes against the air like this.
It moved.
Right?
It moved in both situations.
Yes, because it's not a full vacuum.
It doesn't matter if it's a full vacuum. Space
yes,
isn't
it
a full
does.
vacuum. Is space a full vacuum, guys?
Yes, but it had something to push off.
Is this
Yeah,
a video where they try to demonstrate how rockets actually work in a vacuum, and you're just
So now
keeping
look,
the
when we
audio
introduce the vacuum,
I bet you it is. I bet you this is a video that completely debunks you, but that's why you have the audio.
This is as good as the one you put up earlier of disproving the 24-hour sun, and you just showed a video of the 24-hour sun to disprove the 24-hour sun.
look, it doesn't fly far forward as it did before, right? So obviously, if that was stronger, you wouldn't get any movement whatsoever.
So why can't a rocket just push off its own vapor trail again?
That just shows rockets cannot work in.
Why can't rockets push off their own exhaust trail again?
So it's not that big of a deal. WhatKast? Simple science, simple physical.
Gas pressure. Gas pressure. Did the balloon move when he put the vacuum behind it?
Yeah, because it had something to push off. Yes, it wasn't a full vacuum.
Did it move the same amount without the vacuum behind it?
Well, without the vacuum, it moved more.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did. If you look at the experiment, yeah.
Play it again.
All right.
Play the video that exactly is disproving your point.
Please don't make me watch that. I don't want to watch the kiddie's truck being pushed by a balloon again. It's real
so look, it moves across the table without the vacuum, right? Yeah. So you saw that from one end to the other. And let's go forward.
Please tell us the name of that video also. That would be appreciated.
I don't know if I've got a title for that. So look, with the vacuum there, it doesn't move the same, right?
Why?
Because in a vacuum, there's less pressure or nothing to push off, so rockets can't move forward.
There's nothing to push off.
Hey,
yeah,
that balloon right there is twice the size.
Is the vacuum cleaner exerting a force on that little car and balloon?
No.
No? Does a vacuum cleaner exert a force on the dirt in your carpet?
No, it's just high pressure to low pressure.
Holy shit, yes.
Yeah, vacuums don't suck, so there's no force.
How does something
do suck?
No, a vacuum, space of vacuum doesn't suck, so there's no force.
How does something move without a force? Can you describe that that phenomenon in physics that something can move without a force?
Yeah, general relativity. Bending on what? The bending and curving of space-time.
The bending or curving of space-time.
Yeah,
that's something moving without a force?
Yeah, if you create a gravity well, something will follow the curved path. Follow is not a force.
Follow is not a force.
Yeah, so if something's
changing directions, it's being forced to do so.
No, it's moving because it's going on a curved path.
What's creating the gravity well?
Mass.
Okay, so you believe in relativity now?
No, I'm just explaining your model.
Yeah, you're explaining my model. So what's the force of the gravity well? What's bending the space-time?
The mass.
In our model.
The mass is creating a gravity well, large masses.
No, you just explained what it is. What's actually creating the well? You can't just say mass. Why is the mass creating the well?
Because it's distorting the space around it.
Okay, thank you for not answering any question. Yeah, there's forces involved. That's the entire point. The mass is creating a well, right? There's forces involved in that. You can't move something without a force. You can't just say mass bends things. There's a reason the mass is bending things. Nothing moves without a force. Force equals mass times acceleration. You know this, right? You have an acceleration somewhere, then you have a force. In this case, the air is accelerating out of the back of that straw in your little video and creating a force. It has to, by physics law.
Right. I mean, it's very simple, right? Hold on, wait for this advert.
Yeah, it is very simple. We don't need to hear it again from you.
So look, it's very simple. The area, the fabric, space, this is what this blue represents. The object just sits in the middle, creating a well.
So when he put that ball in the middle, was there not a force applied to the sheet that he put that on?
Well, it's just in space.
So this is space?
Yeah, the blue is representing space.
But he put a force on that to represent the space.
Do you have to apply force to the space-time to get it to do it, Gas? Or does it just do it for fun?
Funsies. You can't show me a force being applied to something and say, just imagine it without a force. That's
okay.
He's
literally
silly
stuff.
It's very simple stuff again. So all that's been created is a well. So you got to imagine this fabric is space. Earth is sat in the space.
What is being used in that? What is being used in that video? What are they using to?
It's like a trampoline. It's like a sheet.
A trampoline. That's not a trampoline. That's a trampoline simulator. I don't believe it. It's not true. CGI.
Well, it's just a sheet.
That's CGI.
It's a sheet now. Okay, so that's a sheet simulator. So I don't accept.
Yes, it's just like when you sit on the bed, you create an impression, a well. That's how it's explained, right? So in space, if the Earth were a ball, it's creating an impression in the fabric of space.
I disagree. I have a memory foam mattress. I do not leave a hole like that. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the general idea.
I don't believe that's a real sheet. I think that was made in
China.
Myself.
So you're demonstrating something that requires a force to demonstrate, but saying use your imagination. In this other example I have, there is no force.
So this would be the Earth, and everything would follow the path of the well. No force required. It's just following the path because of what the Earth is doing to the fabric around it.
Can't the Earth apply a pressure to?
Very simple
apply
things.
a force to
Not
space-time?
difficult. Right, that's what Einstein Katie said. No, there's no force. The object is just following the path.
That's not what he said. He's talking about specifically, it's only not a force in non-inertial reference frames. He's not talking about that it's never
Here's another one. Gravity visualized in your model.
He's going to ignore what you just said because he doesn't understand it.
I was about to say that. Gas, have you ever conceded a point ever?
No.
Yes, if there are demonstrations, then yeah, I have to concede.
How about this? On a globe.
So, for example, if you were to show mass moving to another, like here, in this demonstration, we're seeing mass go to another mass, but because the fabric is bent.
Because the force of the ball on the fabric.
No, I'm saying when the ball is in the middle.
No. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's putting other balls that are coming towards that ball.
Is that ball putting a force on the fabric?
Yeah, look, he's got another ball. Look.
Not yet. Look, there's another ball. Is that ball applying a force to that fabric?
What force?
Just say
Fuck's
yes,
sake.
Gaz.
I'm gonna go eat lunch. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy this nincompoop.
I'm shutting the live down though. That's enough for me. I've been in here for two
It's
hours.
probably a decent idea at this point.
You're talking to a science denier. That's it.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks everyone for coming up.
Thanks
See you
for
all
having me.
next time.
Catch you later.
Thanks, guys. See you all later. Cheers.
See you later. Thank you.